All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Local 1000 listens to you. Today is December 8th, and we got a lot to talk about tonight. Last Wednesday night, we talked about the credit cards, and everyone had an opinion. And they said, hey, we don't want you at the French Laundry getting your shirts dry cleaned so you can look professional and starched up when you do those videos. We don't care if you represent the largest public sector union in California. We don't want you to look nice and neat. And I say to that, well, I'm going to look nice and neat. I'm always going to be starched up. And if you think that me taking these shirts and pants to look a certain way to represent you, Local 1000, if you think that's too much at $25 or $50, then let me go on and apologize to you right now. But you wouldn't have known if I had to put up the credit card statements. And you say, well, we don't care about the credit card statements, Richard. We want to build membership. We want to know what you're doing right now to help us. And so it's a great point. And so you have the argument. Do you study your past to prepare for your present, to get ready for the future? Or do you disregard the past and only worry about today and what's in front of you? And so I would say to you, if you're only worried about today and you're not focused on what happened yesterday to help you for today, to get ready for tomorrow, I would say there's something wrong with your thinking. There's nothing wrong with that. I know short-term thinkers. I'm from St. Louis. I know short-term thinkers. They live day to day. They're not in a union, because in a union, we should have substantial wages for a specified period of time, absent of bad behaving, egotistical, self-serving supervisors. That is what a union should be involved in: wages and working conditions. Now, some of you say we should be involved in other areas. I would tell you I respectfully disagree. But this is a free country currently, and you're still allowed to have freedom of speech peacefully. You're still allowed to regulate your body somewhat. And most of all, you're still allowed to have an opinion about, I'm feeling it, about your Local 1000 president, good or bad. And I'm not going to censor you. And so we're going to get started with this PowerPoint, as you see behind me. And then, it's question time. And you're going to ask me questions, make comments, and, tell me how you feel about life. Local 1000 listens to you every Wednesday night at 6:30. So let's get it started. All right. Now, tonight, it's about that money. Money, 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 money. Review of historical MOUs. MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. What does that mean? It's your contract. The contract, okay? And general salary increases, JSIs, retirement benefits. And this weekend on December 11th and 12th, SBAC. We have our different DBERs, district bargaining unit representatives, come together and they vote over the 10 different bargaining units on who is going to be on your bunk team and who's going to be your bunk chair that's going to help negotiate the next contract. Our current contract expires June 30th, 2023. So we want to get started now. We don't want to wait till that year to organize. All right. So getting started here. Thank you, Key. Presentation overview, review of past memorandum of understandings, their cover letters, general salary increases, major provisions, inflation rates, value of historical pay raises, retiree health care, quote, post-employment, other post-employment benefits, OPEB, future of contract negotiations, the future. ethics policy limits, and finally, the Statewide Bargaining Advisory Council, SBAC. Statewide Bargaining Advisory Council, SBAC. The Bunk Chair Bargaining Unit Negotiating Committee. The Bunk Bargaining Unit Negotiating Committee. All right. We went back in the past, and they tell you every time, Richard, stop talking about the past. Well, Richard says, well, wait a minute. Come on, guys and girls. July 1st, 2006 through June 30th, 2008. Guess what we had? Guess what we had? We had a COLA. They called it a cost of living adjustment. Now, all the people, I don't see her, all the people from the past, way back in the past, they know about that. There was that $1,000 taxable bonus. General salary increase 3.5%. Wasn't very much. The COLA was based on the Consumer Price Index. This was the last time Local 1000 had a COLA. We have a current bunk chair. I guess he's going to run again for bunk chair. Brad Willis in Bargaining Unit 11. He was on the bunk team during this time. Brad Willis. All right. But this is really, it goes to show you that when they say we can't have a COLA, that's not true. Whoever told you that we can't have a COLA, whoever told you that Richard Lewis Brown was crazy for saying COLA and GOPay, they were wrong. And I'm going to show you this by going back in the past and coming to the current. All right. Remember this contract? Or did you forget? July 1st, 2010 through July 1st, 2013. Now listen how they did this. Only one pay increase. Those were tough times during that time period. 3% on the last day of the contract. 1.17% pay increase over those years. That contract was ratified in November 2010 after Governor Jerry Brown got elected. And who remembers losing those two holidays? Y'all remember that? Yes, you do. You remember. Because they replaced those two holidays with two PDD days. You say, well, what's the big deal? Why did we give up those two holidays? The union does not give up holidays and money. And so what they did, when they gave that up, that was a sign of the times. A sign of the times. Brad Willis was there during that contract that got ratified. And so was Miguel Cordova, Unit 21. He was there. If you remember, we had the furloughs going on too. That started February of 2009. All right, and you'll see here in the cover letter, it says stops the furloughs. Now, here's the funny thing. It says stops the furloughs. Guess what's missing from this PowerPoint? And I went over this PowerPoint 1,000 times. But when I go live, sometimes I can see it. Remember the 2010 POP? That's how this contract got done. We agreed to give up our money voluntarily. So we helped get this governor from the past, Jerry Brown, in on his second go-around. He was in the early years, in the late 70s into the early 80s. And then on this go-around, he said, give me up 1 day POP. Give me 1 day after going through those 3 days with Schwarzenegger. And the union agreed to do that. I would have never agreed to that. We're not going to give up anything. How hard do you have to work every day? And then your union just gives up your money. And I say that with love. All right. Now, look at this one. July 2nd, 2013 through July 1st, 2016. Look at this. No furloughs or POP. We had protection. I'm gonna read it to you from right here. No new furloughs or POP days during the term of this contract. Remember how I was screaming about show me the cover letter off these contracts? Just don't tell me what you're doing. I want to see what you put in this little stuff here to make us think that you did something great for us. Remember that? Why is this language? No new furlough. I say no furloughs at all. Why is this furlough and POP protection language not in every union contract? Why is that? Why are you signing contracts that don't guarantee your wages? Are you in a union? Are you in a union? Yes or no? This language will be in all future contracts. If you want to run me out of office, then run me out. Nobody else is telling you this. Nobody else who ran for office for this position as local 1000 president ever told you that. Why is that? Because they don't want you to know. And that's why they tell you, don't study your past. Woo! Let me let this go. Breathe. Let it go. Take a break for a second. All right, continuing on. So we had a 4.5% increase over 3 years for this contract. Not much. Not much at all. You see Brad Willis, now we see Kim Cowart, and we see, once again, Miguel Cordova. I just can't shake this. If you're in a union and you sign a contract, why would you ever give up your money? I don't care if a hurricane's coming tomorrow. I want my money. You told me for a period of time you were going to guarantee my money. I want you to think about this. When we lost money recently, the recent POP 2021, did those state legislators lose any money? Did they lose any money? Then why did you give up your money? Why did you agree to give up your money? Because of the past, because in the past it's been done before. And you didn't learn from the past, and that's why you say to people, don't listen to Richard. Richard's crazy. No, I'm not crazy. Moving on. 2016 contract, July 2nd, 2016 through, ironically, January 1st, 2020. That's weird. It didn't end on the fiscal year. I couldn't quite figure that out. Maybe you smart people can tell me why that happened. I'm sure you'll have an explanation. Anyway, $2,500 signing bonus. They don't ever tell you that it's taxable. See, they left that part out. In fact, here, let me see. Oh, here we go. So you won't say I'm lying. I'm working with the Koch brothers. Hi, guys. We want a $2,500 signing bonus. Okay. They didn't tell you it's taxable. Because for some of you, if I say 2,500, you want that whole 2,500. And then if I tax you, you say, I don't understand why you tax my money. You told me 2,500. Yeah, okay. And they told you right here too. Anyway, somewhat good general salary increases, 4%, 4%, 3.5%. Uh-oh. So if you were to take that 11.5% total over that period of time, you would say, hey, that's fantastic. Not so fast. What did they do here? OPEB, are you kidding me? You will give me some money and then try to snatch it back from me? OPEB, other post-employment benefits. AKA, it's on your pay stub as a CERBT. Retiree healthcare. 1.2% on July 1st, 2018. Now, I was trying to get all stuff in here. It should say additional, not just 1.1 on July 1st, 2019. It should say additional. An additional 1.2% on July 1st, 2020. Additional, because it all adds up to 3.5%, is what we're paying right now. You say, wait a minute. Remember I said this looks weird? January 1st, 2020? Well, why the heck did they do a contract and put this out July 1st, 2020, when it wasn't even part of the contract? Sounds like to me, this contract was really to July 1st, 2020. That's what it sounds like to me. They said, well, we don't want to hurt people. We wanted to drag it out. Well, if you're going to drag it out, then don't even put it on this contract. What's going on? Well, wait a minute, hold on. So the politicians are our bosses. So they told you to do it like that? So you did? So you got this, but not really because of the 3.5%. So you really got 8% over 4 years because we didn't get that next contract right away. No, we did not. Oh, y'all forgot. Oh, I didn't. You really got 2% over 4 years, average. Oh, wait a minute. Well, look who's here. Our VP Secretary Treasurer at that time, Teresa Taylor. Oh, you know who she is. Oh, yeah, you do. She's the one that wants to run me out of office. Oh, you didn't know? Oh, you want me to stay focused? No, I can do this and talk about her and all these other so-called wannabe Local 1000 leaders and hold them accountable because there's her name. She agreed to that. She's the one that's trying to run me out of office, her and Billy Hall, whatever his name is. I'm just saying. And then we see, once again, Brad Willis, Kim Colbert, and Miguel Cordova. They don't want me around either. I'm just saying. But I'm showing you in writing. Notice, this is a sales gimmick. You don't see the OPEP mentioned in here. No. And they tell you, what do they say here? Through 9 months of negotiations, 9 months. In June, I think it's in 2016, 8,000 members created a sea of purple at the state capitals chanting, our union, our contract, our future. Well, I can't tell with this. What kind of future is that? You giving up money. Now, remember, your retiree health care was guaranteed by government code 22871. Oh, I'm coming to it. Oh, yes, I am. The last thing they wanted was for me to win the election because I'm going to put a spotlight on you. I'm going to talk about you in a respectful way, of course, sure. But I'm going to put it on you, though, because this is what you've done. And this is why you can't grow your membership. And they tell you that I'm the one that's causing the membership to fall downhill. That's an absolute lie. Membership's been going downhill for years. Why? Because of contracts like this. And that's why this SBAC this weekend is so important. And that's why they're trying to rain havoc on this SBAC that I'm going to be in charge of. You keep electing the same people to the same bunk team, and they keep making the same interesting decisions because of the same former Local 1000 president. Now, here we are. January 2nd, 2020 through June 30th, 2023. Oh, wait, let's go back for a second. Remember now, we were going on strike December 5th, 2016. And then December 2nd, they found the pathway. And so when they tell you, well, we can't go on strike, we're under a signed contract. You know, they always say that on Facebook. So we were going on strike on December 5th, 2016. Why? Because the contract had expired. And I've told you this 1,000 times. But they continue to go on Facebook and spread all these evil lies, and then they sit back and say, don't worry about us lying and stuff. You focus on your job. This is my job. You're lying on the union. You're hurting the perception of the union. You say my crazy videos hurt the perception of the union. No, my videos draw people into me. Then they say, oh, wow, he's not so crazy. He's actually telling the truth. Maybe that's why he's crazy, because he tells the truth. He's not taking the money. Well, what money are you talking about? Your moment, and I'll show you. All right, so we didn't have the strike. It got called off. I signed up for the strike vote. Did you? Did you vote? Remember when you could sign up on that strike vote and they said, hey, if you want to become a member right now and sign a strike, you can. But when it comes to elections, oh, they tell you something different. They say, well, you know, we don't want to tell you when you can be a member. And then if you do become a member, we want to get our money from you first before we allow you to vote. Oh, you think I'm dumb, though? No, I'm not. Just ask some of these people, these so-called smarty people. They're all over the union. All right, moving on. So here we are, 7% for 3.5 years. You say, hey, that's not so bad. Average 2% per year? I can't come up off that. Why are you paying us money for this type of result? So you're getting 2% pay increase. Oh, we'll get to the fact that you didn't get all this money right away. We'll get to that in a second. 2% over 3.5 years. And then I can't give you satisfactory job representation. I'm confused. Now, this is what you call politics. I'm not like that. They say, Richard, you locked Irene Green out the building because you went to that insurrectionist meeting and tried to strip you of your powers on October 16th and 17th. You can forgive her for that, Richard. Remember? Forgiveness overcomes anger and madness. Remember that phone video I did? But she's never come and said, Richard, I'm sorry. I am sorry for what I did to you. She's never apologized to me. But forget about me and my little ego. I ain't got much ego. A little bit. But she didn't apologize to you for trying to strip me of my powers, because if she apologized to you, what she's really saying is, I'm apologizing for trying to rob the voice of the voters at Local 1000. And I wouldn't be a hypocrite like the party I belong to, the Democrats. Oh, I'm talking tonight. Anyway, you don't see the bunk chairs besides the president, you don't see the names on the cover page. But they moved them to the back. They put the bunk chairs and the bunk members for each bargaining unit on the back page. I couldn't find the VPs, couldn't find Annika Walls. You know she's incredible, you know. I couldn't find her, couldn't find Kevin Miniger, Secretary Treasurer at the time. Couldn't find him. Couldn't find VP of Bargaining Tony Owens. I couldn't find him either. But you thought I missed that. Okay. Keep thinking that. Page 2, these are the current chairs. And the reason why I put their names up, because many of these people, these current chairs, Susan Rodriguez, Unit 1, Terry Hibbert, Unit 3, Karen Jeffries, Unit 4, Brad Willis, Unit 11, Ed Page, Unit 14, but he replaced Robert Vega, Eric Murray, Unit 15, but he replaced Garth. I'm sorry. Ooh, this is wrong. I caught my mistake. He replaced Garth, but Garth had replaced Maria Patterson. Okay, and then there's Kim Cowart, 17, and Miguel Cordova, Unit 21. I didn't put State Bar on here. I left them off. These current chairs most likely are going to run again this weekend. It should be interesting to see if these same contracts that haven't been giving you anything, disrespecting you, if these same people get reelected all over again. It should be interesting. And if you say, Richard, you're out of pocket, you're interfering with the election. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm giving you the history. And I told you in my brochure, my 2021 brochure, all these people and their pictures was in my brochure. I'm not telling you nothing, not one single thing new. I told you ahead of time who I was. That's why they're trying to run me out of office, because I'm exposing these people for who they are. In this starched shirt. Got that right. So this is what it is. Wait, I want to read this for a second. She said something. I said, oh no, she's being smooth. Okay, wait a minute. Utilizing the personal leave program, PLP. Why did we give up 2 days of pay? Now the bunk chairs and the president said it was the right thing to do. They said it's the right thing to do. We're in a pandemic. The governor knows what he's talking about. And we're going to give up 2 days of pay for 2 straight fiscal years. It wasn't 1, it was 2. It stopped at 1. Why did it stop at 1? Oh, well, we have a surplus, Richard. Wow. We got $76 billion. I can't tell. Can you tell? Did you get any of that essential worker premium pay money yet? Has nothing to do with the federal government. This is state money. We gave up that money for what? Because of the past. Because we've done that stuff in the past. Oh, you thought I forgot about the 2012 PLP. Oh, I didn't mention that? Thought I forgot. So the 2010 to 2013 contract, November, it was ratified, 2010, and went back to July 1st, 2010. 1 day, PLP, 2010. Remember when he came out, Mr. Jerry Brown, and you really found out how he really got down? You thought he loved you, but he didn't. And in 2012, he said, give me another day. And we voted on that one. The whole membership, at least that's what they tell us. They didn't tell you how many folks voted. They just told you the percentage that it passed by. And we gave up another day while under a signed contract. 2010, PLP, 2012, PLP. And you say, don't talk about the past. How can you not talk about the past to inspire people today so they get motivated to know they have a real leader for the first time in Local 1000 history? How can you not talk about the past? You talk about the past in America. You brag about the 4th of July. Oh, man. Really? You talk about all the presidents of the past and all the great things of the past and how we can do it in the present and continue in the future as the greatest country on earth. You tell me that every single day. So don't tell me to not talk about the past. I ain't trying to hear you. But, you know I love you. You know I'm working for you. And we have over 17,000 essential worker premium pay petitions. We're still collecting them. And you know we're working on that telework agreement. And even though things got tough with Cal HR, we sent you off that email saying, hey, take the survey that asks you, the membership, how do you feel about what Cal HR is doing on this telework agreement? We value your opinion. We'll collect those surveys to the end of the month, and then we'll make an informed decision because of you. You're not just going to tell us, take this. No, state of California. Those days are over. That's why they're trying to run me out of office. Text one to no one. That's lingo for I'm sincere and they know they can't buy me out and they can't use drugs and liquor and women. That's what that means. It's talking in code here. All right, so this right here. Now listen to this. Rather than forego the July 1st, 2020 general salary increase of 2.5% as proposed by the state, we agreed to defer it. Hey, hold on a second. You have that in writing. What do you mean, defer it? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Did people read this thing? Is that why Bargaining Unit 1 has a low membership? Because a lot of smart people look at this and say, that's some BS. Is that what it is? I'm in Bargaining Unit 1. Forego, we have a signed contract. What are you talking about? And then they tell you, well, it depends on the budget. It depends on the budget? Well, then let me go tell my boss, hey, you know what? I know we got this little agreement and stuff, but you know, I done messed around. Oh, I got blah, blah, blah. I got all these bills coming. I'm going to need a pay increase. Good luck with that. You gave up your money while under a signed contract, but yet all that essential worker premium pay, all that was billions of dollars at that state capitol. Have we seen this, Governor? And before they tell you, well, that's because you said you wanted to run him out of office and woo, 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 woo. No, no, no. The money was there in January of 21. Before I showed up on the scene on June 30th, after I survived the police at my house on May 25th, 2021 at 5 o'clock in the morning, after I survived that as a black man in my own house. I wasn't walking around, wasn't driving dirty. I'm in my own house sleeping at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting ready to go to work. That money was there. Let me give you an inside trick. Want to get reelected? Give people money. I can guarantee you they'll go for it. If the former president had got that essential worker premium pay for everybody, she'd be reelected. If she had got that permanent telework agreement, that conversation started in September of 2020, she'd been reelected. But you look at me and say, I'm not doing my job. I don't have your telework agreement, not fast enough. Don't have your essential worker premium pay, not fast enough. We hear that the correctional officers in CDCR is getting hero pay, COVID pay. That's a lie. They may be getting some money, but it's not no COVID pay or hero pay. Stop being deceived. But yet you come at me and tell me I'm not doing my job, I'm not distracted. And so while all the enemies are trying to tear down the union in order to get rid of me, and I'm taking care, I'm dealing with them while I'm giving you my very best, and this is what you come at me with? And then when I try to educate you, you tell me that I'm wrong. I thought education was a good thing. I thought if you went to college or at least graduated high school, that you're well on your way. And then you tell me I'm wrong for going back and studying the past. But you tell me that the way your mama and daddy raised, your mother and father raised you, because of all their history, and your grandfather and grandmother, because of their intelligence and their wisdom and their supreme love for you, that you listen to that, and that has helped shape your values. And you went back in the past to get that. Moving on. All right. Inflation, general salary increases and reductions. The smart people tell me we're at 228 cost of living index, 2008 to 2009. It's jumped all the way up to 297 for this fiscal year, 30.3%. California, across America, 272. So we're a little higher. Of course, we're California, of course. We're higher than the rest of America because we're the #1 state in the country, California. I don't care what governor it is. We are the #1 state. It's not my blessed Missouri. It's not New York. I love New York. No fight. Not Florida, not Michigan, not Illinois, not Texas, California. 30.3%. And then with our pay increases compounded 26%, we're down 8%. We're down 8% since 2008, 2009. We're down 8%. I think it's a lot more than that, and you do too. These numbers say 8%. Sometimes the numbers can't quite reflect how you feel. How do you really feel? Furloughs, POPs. The smart people tell me it's too hard to figure how to do these numbers versus this number here of the 8% that we're down with the cost of inflation. Somebody's going to get on our website because this PowerPoint's going up tonight, tomorrow morning, and the smart people are going to go through this and say, you did this, this, and this wrong, Richard. Like this spelling error that I missed. Okay. Now, this is what they say. These are the numbers. But it really comes down to how do you really feel about your increase in pay with this union that you've been paying your money to all these years? You don't feel very good about this, and I don't either. That's why I'm here. All right, so Ralph C. Dills Act establishes a framework and obligation for bargaining between the union and the state. Ralph C. Dills Act of July 1st, 1978. It started, though, with the Employee Relations Act, September 30th, 1977, Jerry Brown. So that's why he gets all that credit, because he was the governor at that time. So they said, hey, we're allowed to unionize, and we're allowed to do all these great things because of Jerry Brown. So we should always support him. No, he hustled you back then, and you weren't smart enough to understand that with that exclusive representative clause. He hustled you. You say, how? Because he convinced you that he was helping you, but once they established the exclusive representative clause, now they're saying when you find a union or an organization to represent you, you're going to be represented by this company or union for all these different job classifications with these bargaining units. And whether you pay money or not, they have to represent you per that contract. So then you have this problem. Some people don't want to pay. So then they say, and he did this on his way out in '82. He put that fair share. And then another governor, a Republican, came in and took it away. It was just going back and forth through the years. But if you had never said the exclusive representative clause, now, if you don't pay money to the union, you get no representation. But they tell you, I'm trying to destroy the union because I said everybody should be allowed to vote. Vote in this union, whether you pay money or not, because you're represented by that contract. If you don't want to be represented by the contract, then take away the exclusive representative clause. So that way, we don't have to help you if you don't pay us no money. But I don't know anything. No, I think maybe it's you who don't know anything. I think it's you that's pretending that you're a leader and that you're intelligent and that you are sincere and that you're going to give the very best to our members. I'm so sick of hearing you say that. Try something else. My members. You don't even know who your members are. Remember that PowerPoint presentation that we did? And they said, does the people know who the president of their DLCs? No. But you claim that for the members, you're not doing anything for the members. If you were so concerned about the members, you'd get them out to vote. On that board of directors, 33 of them ran against nobody. I guess the members didn't know who you were. Moving on. Anyway, the act defines mandatory subjects of bargaining and the obligation to bargain in good faith. I'll put good faith in here because this is the one thing I think we've always done. We've always bargained in good faith. I really believe that. The former two presidents, Jim Hart and Yvonne Walker, I do believe they bargained in good faith. I believe that. But did they have the courage of their convictions to really call a strike? Strike vote comes back after reaching a legal impasse and shut the state down to make U.S. history? Did they have it in them? Do you think I got it in me? I want you to look at me in the camera. Look at me. Do I look like I'm the type of person that if I say we're going to shut the state down and make U.S. history, do you think I'm bluffing? There's a reason why they're trying to run me out of here. And actually, I respect them. I do. You know why? Because when you have a real leader who's not playing any games, either you have to discredit him or her, you got to kill him, you got to get him out of here. And by the way, I've been at the day spa. No, I'm teasing. That was a joke. That was a joke. All right, so here we go. Dillzak, now the PIMCA. Let's go back to that for a second. He didn't tell us what the PIMCA was. Public Employment Medical Health Act. I'm trying to remember really quickly. Hold on. Where's it at? Is it back? Okay. Public Employees Medical and Hospital Care Act. It talks about our health care benefits for state employees. That's what established that years ago. And it also did the monthly premiums as well. The health care benefits and monthly premiums for retired employees is also established by this PIMCA. Okay. Here's where it gets tricky with this PIMCA. Senate Bill 98, 2015. It changed the government code. They added a new government code. And that's what started this, quote, pre-funding of retiree health care. Now listen to this. It's bad enough we're losing 3.5% for this contract. That's bad enough. Employee payments into this trust fund are permanent and not returned to the employees if they leave state service before vesting. So not only were we getting our health care, that we didn't have to contribute to our health care. Remember, we're just contributing to our pension. Now with this OPEB, we have to contribute to our retiree health care. But they told you years ago, come work for the state of California. It's not the glorious job. No one's going to respect you for working for the state of California. But you have a steady paycheck for a period of time, and you can retire with a pension. You're not getting paid a lot of money now, but you get a guaranteed fixed income regardless of the stock market because it's called a pension after you retire. And you can retire with dignity. But they told you you'll take less money now. But now they want you to contribute to the healthcare, the retiree healthcare. And why is that? Because they know you won't fight. The same people who are making these decisions for you are the same people who are sending their kids to private college. You're in private schools, you're in the best schools in America, but not yours. You are struggling to pay your bills. You are struggling to make sure your kids do their schoolwork and are accountable in this great country. Yet these people who pull all these tricks, these politicians, they're not worried about you or anybody else. They're taking care of their money. They're prioritizing their money and their families. That's what they're doing. They don't care about you. The employee loses the contribution and the benefit if you leave before vesting. You say, what's the big deal about that vesting? Remember, before, 10 years, 50% healthcare. No longer. Now you got to do 15. All right. This is talking about the OPEB in our contract. And you'll see where it says 1.2 and then by for a total. So they're telling you in the contract how they're doing these numbers to get up to 3.5% for these bargaining units. Now, some of the other unions did the same thing. And this is what happens when you have union presidents who don't care about you. And we're the largest public sector. When we fall, everybody else will follow. And that's why this telework agreement, that we just accept what they try to force down our throats. But they did it with respect and dignity through good faith. That's what they claim. Don't give me a call HR saying I tried to discourage you. That's not true. I know my words. Thank you. Even though let me stop. Okay, so moving on. Now, this bill, the Senate bill, affects employees hired on or after January 1st, 2017. Increase the vesting from 10 to 15 years. And then they changed this formula, the 190 to 80-80. Yeah, okay. We were already protected. We had the DILS Act. We had the PIMCA. Former leadership chose to ignore this. Listen to this. If it was so important for us to pay OPEB, because they run those numbers and they try to put the fear of God in you that the sky's falling in, and that's not true. Remember he told you the sky was falling in March, the springtime of 2020, and he needed our money? Sky didn't fall. Did the fourth largest economy on earth, did it lose a beat? No, because y'all kept working hard. All of you. This state never lost a beat. But they sold you on this idea that if you don't pre-fund your retiree health care, it may not be there for you, when you retire. That's the same thing with Social Security across America. They say, well, if you're not careful, it's going to be bankrupt here. Oh, gosh. Is it 2035, 2036? One of those years. 2043? It's going to be bankrupt, our Social Security across America. Really? So Social Security is going to be bankrupt across America, but you can build 6 more bombs and go bomb a country across the ocean. And I'm a veteran, and I'm telling you this. So you can decide where you want to put money at. Because remember, your money's not based off anything but perception. Because you're not on the gold standard anymore. No, you're not. OPEB never existed before, and remember, it was suspended. Listen to this. It was suspended for 2020-21 when we gave up 2 days a month due to COVID. Governor Code was crystal clear. Our retiree benefits were covered at 100%. But because we did not fight, and when they talk about key alliances in politics, where was our alliances? Why are we having to pre-fund this retiree health care? Haven't you done enough for the state of California? What's going on? Who's with you? The politician or Richard? This is Richard's reality. You may not like Richard's reality, but it's the truth. All right. Former Governor Jerry Brown, he had no right to take away our benefits, our retirement benefits. Here's another reason why they got to run me out of office. As long as I'm the chief negotiator, we're not doing this. We're not. That 3.5% OPEB deduction, it's over. Just like that. The next contract, it won't be there. So you said, well, what happens if they say they don't want to do it, Richard? What are you going to do? We're going to fight. The same thing I'm doing for you now with this COVID mandate. Oh, did you forget? You did. Anyway, moving on. Ralph C. Dills Act 3517.5. If we have an agreement, our MOU, that's going to override any government code. Now, getting that money, that could be a little tricky. You say, well, what if we don't have the money? Let me tell you something about California. We're always going to have money. They'll never lose faith. When they tell you there's not enough money to go around, you know what that means? They're liars. They told you we was in a financial crisis in 2020. And then all those billions and billions and billions and billions in January. The projections in January of 21. Did they share those billions? Did they pay you back for those 2 days that destroyed your dignity? Did they? Okay. You know what? I'm moving on. Because the more I look at this, the more y'all can read through this. The more I just kind of just say, all right, contract negotiations under new leadership. The union will negotiate totally different than it has in the past. SBAC, December 11th and 12th, a new bargaining team and unit chairs will be elected. Now, some of the same people I talked about may get reelected. They may have the votes from the D-Burs of their particular bargaining units. That's how the game goes. This is why voting matters in this country and in this union. All right. GeoPay. Right now, only certain areas, Orange, Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz, and San Luis Obispo. They get it, $250 a month. Why doesn't all of us get some type of GeoPay? At least for sure Dakota. Why? Because we didn't fight for it. They tell you that they did fight for it. It's not true. And look at this. You would think Los Angeles County, San Francisco City and County, San Diego, where are they at? They have some type of weird formula like, well, it depends on the vacancy rate or the vacancy rate or the non-vacancy rate, whatever. I mean, common sense tells you that this is wrong. That's not going to happen again. And here's where it really comes down to why they're trying to run me out of office. If you hang around me, you're going to have your self-esteem. I'm telling you this. Don't come around me with a low self-esteem talking about what you can't do. Get out of here. Because you're ruining my natural high. I don't want you around me. I don't. I'm dead serious. Don't come around me with your head hung low talking about what you can't do. I left you back in St. Louis. I don't want to hear that. This is California. You guys are supposed to be the cutest, the smartest, the best that America has to give or has to offer. Then act like it. As long as I'm your chief negotiator in this next contract, book it. Dignity will no longer be defined and decided by Kyle HR. Let me read this garbage for you. Whoever voted for this contract, please. Dignity clause. The state is committed. That's already a lie right there. I mean, I just started laughing. It's a natural laugh. That wasn't rehearsed. The state is committed to providing a workplace, whatever, where all employees, they'll underpay you, of course, regardless of the employee's classification or pay status, like I said, they'll underpay you, are treated by supervisors, again, that's a lie, and managers in a manner that maintains generally accepted standards of human dignity and courtesy. You believe that? Do you believe it? Then why did you vote for this contract? Employees alleging that they have not been treated accordingly may file a grievance. Now listen to this. You go to your job store, hey, if you got one, call me, I'll make you one. But I'm wrong though. We'll get you training, Annika Walls, VP, Organizing Representation. Yay, fast track. I got you. Okay, file a grievance. Now listen to this. So your boss is making you come in when you should be teleworking because they said we're still in the COVID, the pandemic. That's what they tell you. Live in fear. Don't go anywhere. Take the third shot. But at the same time, they want you to come to work. Put a mask on. But you know you're being discriminated against. Thought I missed that, but I didn't. So you say, hey, I'm gonna file a grievance. Okay. For your dignity? Hope not. Telework? Page 341? It ain't very good. The decision reached at step 3. Kyle HR. So the same people we were battling with over your money and your dignity are the same people that's going to be the final decision authority. That's the dumbest. All right, so we can't do that. We can't do that. All right, so, I mean, this is stupid. This boss of yours is driving you out of your mind, and now he calls his friend, his other little bosses, and they all gang up and write you up. You don't have a job steward, and then you wonder why I want to make everybody a job steward in Local 1000. But I'm the crazy one. And then when you try to fight them, and you take it up the chain, Kyle HR is sitting back saying, we understand your feelings, you know, we really do, but we don't see anything here that's wrong. And you know I'm telling the truth. And they're the ones who did this nonsense in this contract. Who's leading you? Why would you let the person you're battling with, your partner, decide? That's like you and your husband saying, well, we're having a disagreement, but my husband has final authority. Not in America's women I know today. Ain't happening. Or your spouse or whatever. I want you to say I'm being sexist or I'm trying to get a wife on video. You'll say that next. Whatever. I'm moving on. All right. Oh, so look, the holidays. So we lost those 2 holidays. We had 2 PDD days replacing them. So as you know, not to get off racial, but Juneteenth was a federal holiday this year. And so, you're probably saying, well, Richard, how do you feel? Well, no, you know what time it is. So whether you understand the great enslaved African and his or her journey, you're going to understand it. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. No. Why am I tripping? You told me you believed in Black Lives Matter last summer. Oh, yes, you did. Oh, yes, you did. So you should have no problem with that being added to our next contract. Okay. Y'all think I'm playing, but I'm not playing with you. I'm dead serious. Some people talk about it. Other people are going to show you. And I'm going to show you when you least expect it. It will be part of our holidays. So get excited. Yay, Black folks. Y'all laughing, but I'm dead serious. And people call me anonymous a lot of times on my phone and say, hey, brother, keep doing what you're doing, man. We love it. I know you do. And I love you too. All right, so we're going on. All right, ethics. So people say I don't have any ethics. All right, so I had the $25, $52 for the dry cleaning, French Laundry, here in Sacramento. Yay, French Laundry. And they said I had no ethics. So we do have an ethics policy file here, Local 1000. Covered individuals shall not knowingly accept any payments, benefits, or gifts of more than minimal financial value under the circumstances presented from an employer that engages or seeks to engage collective bargaining, SAU, whatever. Let's go to that other part here. Where's it at? Covered individuals shall not knowingly accept personal payments or gifts from any member absent a personal relationship independent of the relationship between the union and the member, other than a gift of minimal financial value. What does that really mean? Common sense tells you I can't go out here and take a gift of $1,000 or something from a member. Because if a person came to me right now and said, hey, Richard, here's $1,000. Oh, by the way, Richard, I need union leave. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They went union leave. So it's funny because the Disney resort cost $4,528, a gift to Margarita Maldonado by our former president in 2018. It's funny. So you're talking about my dry cleaning on Facebook. You know who you are, Denise. I see you. But here we go. But you forgot about this. See, they forget about this part. And when they were telling you I was at the day spa for $3,000 when I was actually getting the building swept for electronic surveillance for security, they were telling you I was at the day spa, but come to find out, they at the spa at Disneyland with Mickey. It's funny, except it's your money and my money too. But they were trying to call me out for bad spending. The $51,000 to help those good folks in Lansing County. $55,000 for information on CalPERS. They said I was out of control. But they at the resort, kicking it. And then she went on and got a job with the union. Margarita Maldonado at $156,000, chief of staff. Here we go again. Teresa Taylor, there she goes, leading by example. Look at her. $1,800 worth. Napa Resort and Spa. $1,800 worth. But she's talking about me and my behavior. Remember, she's the one that told me that, yeah, you remember. But she's at the resort and spa kicking it. because this is in 2018. If you remember, she was a secretary treasurer in 2015, but she didn't get asked to run with the former president in 2018. I don't understand. Maybe it was for the members. Maybe she was concerned about the FTB, so she didn't want to run. Or did she get kicked off to the side? So this is how you know, send someone off. And she still kept her union leave. Full time, all the way up to now. Up to like, I think July or August of this year. She was on full-time union leave from 2015 all the way up. But I'm the one that's out of control. You thought I forgot? You thought last week wasn't going to come back on you? You wait till I really open up on all these people. I got a lot to say. All right. So, SBAC. We're going to end on a positive note. So SBAC, 10 to 11:30 on Saturday, December 11th. That's this weekend. It's being held by Zoom because there's so many people. And it's a lot more people than the board of directors meeting we're having in person next weekend on the 18th and 19th. But you'll be able to watch it on Zoom. It's going to be up on Facebook. It's going to be on our website. Why? Because there we go. We're transparent. Yeah. And, now listen to this. This is really important. Because I know a lot of people watch my videos, and I know who you are. And when you come for me, bring an army, because you'll need it. Please note that guests, non-SBAC members, may attend the general session as well as the bunk election process being held during the bargaining unit breakouts. However, non-SBAC members will not be able to participate in the unit breakout sessions. You can't participate. You can't talk. You can't vote. But you can watch for transparency. Yes, you can. So when they're telling you that you can't watch, that's a lie. Okay. And then you can come to our website if you can get the Zoom link. We sent the Zoom link out. You have to be registered by 5 p.m. By December 10th. All right. Now, 727. It took me a minute to go through all that, and I was flying as fast as I could. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some questions. Now, I didn't take questions last week, but I'm going to take questions this evening. It's going to be fun, and I can't wait. I see certain people in the queue, and I'm waiting on you. So we will take the first question. Thank you, Key. Fantastic. Thank you. And I'll let Key get back to his spot. And so it looks like our very first person in the queue is DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for taking my call.
Gotcha.
I just want to thank you for your PowerPoint presentations. They're very educational. I appreciate that people that come on can see the transparency, and I thank you for that. That being said, we have a lot of members out there that I have been reaching out to and speaking to that are concerned, and I know SBAC, you're going to be able to chime in or watch and listen. Will that be the same for the Board of Directors meeting?
No, the Board of Directors meeting is all in person.
Yes, I'm sorry. No, so yes, I understand that's an in-person. However, for members that aren't able to attend, is there a possibility to have that being able to be visualized via Zoom as well so they can watch?
So, as you know, everybody on the board was sent emails. That's an in-person only meeting. Now, if you're asking that when I conduct this meeting on the 19th, and then the video will run on the 18th as well, if you're asking me, will people be able to view it? Oh, absolutely. But as far as the interaction with the board, that's in person.
Okay, because I had members that were wanting to be able to speak and
They can send their impact statement. Well, they can send their impact. They can send their impact statements to me if they like. I'll be glad to read them.
Okay, and
Yeah.
because a lot of members feel that their Deals Act was violated by SEIU, not representing them fairly when they made negotiated some of these contracts. It wasn't in good faith. They were not acting in good faith on behalf of the members.
So I said in the video that I do believe that Local 1000 has bargained in good faith. Other people may have different opinions depending on the outcome of that contract, along with some other issues. So you raise a valid concern. But I just stated a few minutes ago that I believed in my heart that the two former presidents did bargain in good faith. But did they have the heart to fight and go on strike? That I question.
Well, and I appreciate that. And it's the members that are bringing this to our attention, which is why I'm presenting it. And I will tell you, as being part of the bargaining team back in 2016, we talked about we were all ready to strike. I can tell you, Richard, and all these other board of directors who were part of that, or people that were Deebers and part of that, listen, Yvonne Walker tried to talk us out of striking. She literally, go ahead.
Okay. So we took the strike vote.
Yes, we did.
It was the end of October through November, and it came back positive, overwhelming majority. I don't know how many people voted for that. And we are supposed to go on strike December 5th, and then they reached a pathway sometime December 2nd. Now, if you say that she was telling people that she didn't want to go on strike, that is something I've never heard before.
So in 2016, when I was there, we were negotiating. She literally stated, hey, well, who would follow you out? How about you? Who would follow you out? And I said, my people, my members in my DLC. Yeah, right. Well, I ain't going to go out there and put myself out on a limb and no one's behind me. Richard, every one of these SBAC people know because they were in that room with me. And I'm just saying, you know what? We do appreciate this administration because we want someone to fight to the end for us. And we do want to strike. It just felt like it was put by the wayside. And that's just an opinion from me. And that is exactly what happened. I'll challenge anybody who was in that room with us, all of us there. That's how it went down. Too bad those aren't recorded. But I do also want to point out, these are members that are reaching out and asking, getting back to 2016, when we're doing that, that's the same year that, and this is a question members are asking me and I'm presenting it, are saying that was a year that the administration voted themselves the stipend. And how could they do that? Is that some members are saying we find that unreasonable to vote themselves a stipend while we're in the midst of not even getting what we deserve for the members and having to pay all this. How could that possibly be okay? These are members that are bringing up concerns. So I'm just bringing them forth.
So ironically, I didn't talk about that part. So on June 26, 2016, 24-hour marathon session, the board of directors at that time voted to give the statewide officers a salary stipend. So the president, 1,000, and listen to my language on this, my words. They voted to give her a salary stipend. So she would be paid she'd be paid as the same as the 1,000th highest paid, listen to this, not dues paying member, represented employee. She didn't take no chances. And that's what happened. And so that was a slap in the face. So a lot of people who are on this board now voted for that. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember their names. I think actually Teresa Taylor that day was absent. Bill Hall was there. I want to say Deleon Seacrest. I want to say Jerome Washington. I can't remember all of those names, but a number of people who are on the board now who want me out of office voted to give her the salary stipend. And so by them trying to remove me out of office, by creating this chair or whatever, not illegal meeting, an insurrectionist meeting in October, then they can hope, because remember when we did the PowerPoint, we stopped the salary stipend. So we paid $500,000 from June 2016 up to June 2021. $500,000 is now over. We're not paying that money anymore. I'm not taking a salary stipend. People tell you that I am, but I'm not. That's a lie. But I thank you for your call. Okay, that's a great point about the salary stipend. When the contract negotiations had broke down early June. She got the money on June 26th, and then we had the vote to go on strike. We were supposed to go on strike on December 5th, 2016, but it got called off December 2nd, 2016. All right, next caller, David Montagna. David, good evening.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Oh, yes. Thank you for taking my call. This is more of a personal nature. I sent you an email regarding the Survey Monkey. Apparently, I made a mistake and it went to my junk mail, and I responded to it late past the due date. As a result, I sent a follow-up email to the board to see if they got it and haven't got a response. So I called the MRC. They referred me to another individual who eventually referred me back to you. So I did send you an email to your email at, I believe it's rlbrown@sau1000.org. I hope it's right.
Okay.
Okay. I said that the other day. I just need to know the status so I can make a proper arrangements. If I don't get approved, I'll drive up there and rent my own room so I can be present, because this is going to be a very important meeting. I want to be there. And indirectly, I want to meet you. I have a couple of issues I want to talk to you about, but I just wanted to bring it to you. Just kind of self-serving. Yeah, I do apologize. Your presentation was great. I was a bunk person. I was a president. So this is all relative. That's why I want to be there. So that's my spiel. Thank you for your time. I hope you take a look at the email.
David, thank you for your phone call. I will look for your email. And David, you can always text me. Many people do. 408-207-2339 to send me a reminder.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, sir. Okay, next caller. Frank Askin. Good evening, Frank.
Richie! How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, Frank.
Hey, got a question for you. What's this weekend? We got SBAC coming up this weekend, but I have a question. So next, the following weekend for board of directors, what kind of precautions are they going to be taking for the child care providers? Are they going to be questioned about their vaccinations? Are they going to be checked?
You know what, Frank? The staff is handling that, and they haven't indicated to me that they're going to do anything that's outside the rules of the Sacramento County Department of Public Health.
Okay, well, I thank you very much. I was just wondering because some members are concerned.
And you know what? We're going to do everything we can and obey the rules of this county. We don't want to make anyone feel unsafe. And I think a big thing is, if you can't make it to next weekend's board meeting, I understand that. And if they're on the board and they can't make it, they feel that their life won't be safe. Then I understand that. It's not like this will be the last board meeting of Local 1000's history. There's going to be more. So if you look back in the past, Frank, you'll see at those board meetings for the board of directors, you'll see where people were absent that had nothing to do with this pandemic. Where a lot of times where people were absent. In fact, I just talked about, I believe Teresa Taylor was absent at the salary stipend vote at that board meeting in Southern California on June 26, 2016. So sometimes people miss board meetings for families or for health reasons. But I thank you for the phone call. Thank you so much. All right, next caller, Sean Harrison.
Hi, thank you, President Brown. I really appreciate your transparency. I'm trying to be real quick. I try to be respectful of people's time to be able to talk to you. And I hope you keep it up. And last week, this is one of the questions. I have two questions. One, are you going to continue to do this? Two, is there something we can do that I hope you have a long, illustrious career as the president. But
Thank
how do we codify that we will always have this transparency? So those are my two.
Well, first of all, thank you for calling in. Second, will I continue to do these local 1000 listens to you? Well,
Well,
absolutely. 'Cause I'm
the
sorry.
transparency with regards to the finances, I apologize.
Oh, for the finances. Okay. Now, as long as I'm your local 1000 president with my fully vested powers, and I haven't been stripped of my powers, you can best believe that the financial transparency will always be available. I ran on that in 2015, 2018, and I'm sticking to the same game plan on 2021. In order to increase membership, people must know that their money is being spent wisely. And so, with my credit card charges, they'll go up every month. So that will continue. As far as how do I stay in this position long term? By the grace of God through Jesus Christ?
Well, no, I didn't question that.
Oh,
Think you
okay.
will. It was just, I appreciate the transparency. Last week it was about the finances. For example, you mentioned the vote that happened in June 26 of 2016. I found
Mm,
that on the website. This is the most information I have found on SEIU's website in
right.
my 20 years of being a member. So I appreciate it, but I want it to live on as a legacy of yours. So even beyond your terms as president or whatnot, is there a way to codify it, to put it into any of our policies that it will continue?
In order to put it into policy, everyone knows that the board must, by majority vote, agree to that. So right now, many people say, well, Richard, you don't have the respect or the will of the vote of the board to get anything done. So this is why you see me reaching out to members directly, and the members will have to, quote, apply pressure to their DLC presidents. And now they can't say they don't know because, like you stated on the website, the transparency, you can click on our DLC map that the staff was incredible. And you can find out what site, who your DLC president, who your e-board is. And I would tell anyone, if you're concerned about me staying in office and you think that they're going to really run me out of here, I would tell you this. Everything that's up on that website, make a copy of. Because I can guarantee you, if it's the will of God, and I still respect the laws of man, because that's what it tells me. If it's the will that I am walked out of here, I can reassure you, that website will be wiped clean. And you'll never, ever, ever see that again. So please, those PowerPoint slides, all that information on the website, you should imitate that website. Because I'm giving you history. Because from our history, we can prepare for our present and get to the future. And so when I say
agree.
we're not going to take that 3.5% OPEB deduction, remember, that's part of my platform. People are going to hold me accountable. You say, well, how do we know you're really telling us the truth? Because you already know with this COVID situation that I've been fighting, as well as this telework agreement, we're trying to get a substantial telework agreement. And we didn't just roll over and take what the state told us to take. And that presents problems to the status quo. And so there's a number of reasons that they have to, quote, remove me from office, because at a certain point, people are going to realize that I'm not crazy. I am sincere. I am going to get this job done. I have helped a lot of people. You just don't know because I don't say it on video because people can't touch me because I'm too hot to touch. So when I'm liked and I'm popular, now all the people can hug me and say, Richard, we were by your side from the very beginning. But that is not right now. So I'm protecting a lot of people while I'm also focused on giving you that transparency to build the faith that people can come to the union for the first time or come back to the union. So when they tell you that Richard's not interested in building membership, that is the absolute not truest fact. That's a fact that I'm sincere in building membership. So when they tell you these lies about me, people say, ignore the haters. You cannot allow people to pollute your air. Remember, I shouldn't be surprised by people telling me to ignore the haters because I'm in the state of California. And the last time I checked before they got on top of their game, you had smog up and down this state. But then they said, you know what? We can't ignore the smog. I told you I was phoning tonight. You can't ignore the smog. And we have the smog of evilness in the air, in our atmosphere of this union. You must clear that air out. I said the dirty laundry going to the laundromat. Now I'm telling you the smog. Until we address these problems while also dealing with the present, I'm asking you and everyone to do the same thing when you go to work every day and deal with these bad behaving bosses. Multitask, do your job, and do your boss's job and not get no credit for it. But thanks for your call. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Okay, you're very welcome. Okay, next caller, Kimberly.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, President Brown, for
You're
giving
very
me the
welcome.
call. First, I want to thank you so much for sending me the SEIU Social Justice T-shirt. I really love it and appreciate you being true to your word on that. I also want to thank you for explaining the opportunity to participate or view the SBAC and BOD meetings coming up and your commitment to increasing transparency. As you know, some of the DLC presidents do not engage effectively, if at all, with the employees they represent. I am in DLC 794, and mine is one of those who has refused to provide any information about agenda items for upcoming meetings. And I'm wondering, is it possible to send the agenda out to all represented employees before the meeting? And then I have a second question after you answer that.
Oh boy, you caught me, Kim. First of all, your 794 DLC president is Francina Stevenson.
Correct.
So when you said that she's not communicating with her people,
Well, more
I
than
can-
that,
I can-
I've actually asked her and she has refused.
so I can sit here and be real positive and say, oh, I can't believe that she would do that. But you and I both know that she's trying to run me out of office. So the truth is, it is what it is. She's not going to communicate with her people, particularly if those people are willing to talk to me. She's not going to do that. She's just not. And so when you say, can we send the agenda to all the represented employees?
Yeah, that's my question. Why do we have to rely on a DLC president who is not willing or invested to really represent us and provide us with information that we're asking for?
You know what? You caught me. I think you're right. I hate to get caught on video. Boy, I hate to get caught. But you caught me tonight. So you're saying in order to ensure that what we sent to the board, that the representative employees on the emails that we have, that they should get that as well?
Yes,
Done.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to my next question. I understand that there was a reorganization of SEIU staff, and that included the union representatives who typically receive concerns from represented employees and advise them and file grievances when appropriate on their behalf. Can you confirm if, as a result of that reorganization, have their roles changed or remained the same? And if so, if they did change, how did they change? And what should represented employees expect from them going forward? You know, I may have missed it. I looked on the website. I couldn't find it. Maybe it's not there, through no fault of anybody's. But is there somewhere on the website that illustrates for us the new organizational structure that includes the lines of reporting?
Wait a minute. Now I caught you, Kim. I think we have that.
Okay.
We have the structure of Local 1000 on the website.
Okay, I will take a look.
I can't remember, I want to say it's under the hamburger grill if you're on your cell phone. And I think it's about okay, people are looking right now. It's about, so that structure of our staff is on there for transparency.
Okay.
And I think even the salary range for the rank and file is listed on there for the different jobs. And of course, with the management, their salaries cannot be revealed. So we
Okay.
have an asterisk on there about their salaries are confidential.
Sure. So to my first part of that question about the union representatives' roles,
Right.
has there been a shift in what we're expecting them to do? I mean, I don't want to go to somebody if they're not really the go-to person anymore. Or, you know, I'm just trying to get clarity on how
So-
that reorganization affected.
That restructured on October 1st, so we can only have one rep per DLC. the roles are still basically the same, except the reps will all be doing rep work in addition to organizing. So their jobs really haven't changed unless they were just doing organizing. Now they'll be doing rep work. But for those who were already doing rep work, representative work, they're going to also do organizing as well. So a lot of people think that our union has completely changed on that aspect. But no, what we're doing is we're putting the emphasis on representation, but we're going to still organize at the same time.
Can I make a comment about that?
Sure.
I'm sure that every area is a little bit different, but one of the things I've consistently heard from the representative in my area is that they have so many people in their area
That's
that
correct.
they really don't have, time, at least time that we expect for full engagement. And so I wonder if now we're adding organizing on top of their representation responsibilities, how that is serving us better.
Because what we're doing is we're spreading out the work so that each DLC will only have one rep, or should I say, a rep will only have one DLC. There are some DLCs that are so big it takes two. And what's going to eventually happen is we will have to hire more staff, which we're currently doing. So one rep per DLC should alleviate the problem of a rep being overworked. That problem should be getting cleared up.
Okay. I mean, there are some DLCs with more people in them, though, right?
Yeah, some of those big DLCs may have two reps. And we're going to hire more people, so
Okay.
I wouldn't be worried about that.
All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks for calling in. All right, next caller, DLC 727 President Linda Martin. Good evening, Linda.
Good evening, President Brown. How are you?
I'm doing just great. How are you?
I am busy, busy, busy. So as a new DLC president of 727, I've been doing worksite visits this week. And part of what I wanted to talk about, it seems like you already answered through Mary. I had a number of people tell me they were very concerned about the upcoming board of directors meeting, and they absolutely said, I cannot go to Sacramento, but I absolutely want to be a part of that. And because they're concerned about some of the board members, they actually approached me with that information. Where they got it, where they read it, I don't know. But they were pretty concerned about, their president being unseated. So they had asked me if I would ask if they were able to attend that maybe via a Zoom, and if a Zoom link will go out for them. And then I had a number of members that did want to write something, but they said they didn't want to write as far as, what did you say? It was an impact statement?
Sure, impact statement, yes.
Okay, well, I had a number of people, I told them they could do that, but they said they wanted something official. So they wanted something official to go out to them by you so that they could respond to that. So those are two things that came up. I had a number of people tell me they absolutely love your weekly meetings. They're really on board. They said it's very informative. So they absolutely want you to keep doing that. And the other thing that came up was the status of essential pay and where we are with that petition.
All right. So, first of all, thank you. Tell those people, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love the encouragement and the support. Number two, this meeting is an in-person meeting. It will be broadcast live on our SEIU 1000 Facebook page. I think it's going also up on our website. Of course, I'll have my phone on my Facebook page as well. Now, you have my number. My number is not a secret. Anyone that texts me, I'll send you an email. You can respond back with your impact statement that I will read at the board meeting. Some people I know really want to come. If you send me your impact statement, I guarantee you I will read it. And you will be
Yeah,
able
well,
to
that's
watch
the
this.
problem I had is that for whatever reason, some of the people that I talked to, they wanted something like officially by you, something that went out by you that
Mhm.
they were able to respond to. I don't know why that is,
Done.
but
I got you. I got you. So,
right.
boy, I want to say it was Kimberly. No, it was Sean Harrison that was it Kimberly or Sean Harrison that asked for the agenda to go out to everybody. Kimberly, 794. She asked for the agenda to go out to everyone. So when the agenda goes out to everyone, I will also put in there about impact statement, about people who feel strongly about me staying in office with my full powers. I'll put that in there as well. Okay.
Okay, and
But hold on. Here's the thing. People always complain and say they don't get those emails. So whoever is saying they want me to email them, they're gonna have to call if they don't want to text me. Because here's the thing: if someone texts me, I'm gonna email them directly, so they can't say that when Local 1000 sends out the email, they didn't get it. So
and
okay.
will you also be able to put in there, in addition, the links that they'll be able to watch the board of directors meeting, please?
Yes,
And then the last part I
it's
had,
gonna. So here, let me verify this again. When we run this live on Saturday and Sunday, it's gonna be on Facebook. Hold on 1 second. Facebook SEIU 1000, correct? Okay, so it's gonna be on Facebook. I'm also informed that it's also gonna be on our website. It's gonna be live on our website. But what I'll do when this agenda goes out to everybody and I ask for the impact statement from people, I'm gonna try to list every link for Saturday and Sunday for next week's board of directors meeting. That starts at 8 and ends at 3 at the Holiday Inn at 300 J Street, downtown Sacramento.
okay, and then the last thing they were questioning was, well, the people I can spoke to, I can tell you that, I've been to a number of on-site visits and I've gotten very positive feedback from my members about you. I just want you to know that. I have not heard anything negative. And if that was the case, I would totally be honest and say that. So I just want you to know what I get is very positive. But the other thing, the last thing is about essential pay. So where
Oh,
are we with that
that's right. That's
yeah,
right. So the essential pay, we're still collecting petitions to the end of the month. We're over 17,000. My target goal was 21,000. I'd love to have 50, but I guess I'm asking for too much. And once we have all those petitions collected by the end of the month, we're going to walk them over in January. Now, a lot of people have strong opinions about the money should have been received a long time ago. I realize that. Some people say that people who work from home should not get the essential worker premium pay. We are not going to be divided, even though I've gotten interesting emails. We're going to fight for everyone equally. I believe in equality for some reason or another. I don't know why. So we're going to keep collecting these petitions. We're going to gather them up. We're going to walk them over in January. That's a promise. It will be done. And we can thank one of the callers in the queue, Yolanda Williams, for inspiring me to do like she asked me to do in August, and then it got done it got started in November. We're going to get this done.
Yeah, and Richard, one last thing, just comment. I know you were talking about a little while ago about PLPs. I can tell you I also had a number of people that were pretty upset that they were not getting their PLP back.
They're not getting their PLP back. What do
That
you
they're
mean?
not getting paid back for the PLP time.
Oh, so let's address that really quickly. We should have never, ever gave up our money, but it's gone. People say, Richard, get the money back. You can't force the state to give you the money back. We gave up the money voluntarily. If you say that this current governor is so union friendly and he's so supportive of us, then we would have to ask him to give back what he took from us when he didn't have to. That's the sad situation. So even when we're doing these petitions, he is the sole decider.
Yeah,
So-
that's too bad. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's too bad. That wasn't part of what they negotiated. If they were going to negotiate it away, that they didn't put in there to negotiate that it would be back if they had a surplus, that we would get that money back.
You know what? You're right. You're right. And I would just say this. If I have a signed contract with you for a period of time for X amount of money, I'm not giving up not one dime. I don't care. I don't care what they tell me. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, do you think the state's going to come and help you? They're not. And they never will. And that's what happens when you elect people who don't put you first, who don't care about enforcing a contract, but yet they tell you that politics matters, and they tell you that we should be involved in the social justice movement, but yet when it comes to the financial justice movement, you can't find them. Okay, I'll stay positive. All right, well, thank you for calling.
Thank you very much.
All right, and I'll work on what you said about you and Kim getting the agenda, and then about making sure I ask for the impact statements in that email, along with the links for the board of directors meeting next week. Okay, I got it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, next caller, Angela. Good evening.
Hi, Richard. How are you?
Hi. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking my call. I just want to address really quick to Kim regarding 794, her president. I don't know if in the policy file, it states if at first and foremost, regardless of the position that you're elected to, you are a job steward first and foremost. That is it. Doesn't matter if you're president, you still are a representative of the union, so you're a job steward. She has a duty, Francine, the president, she has a duty to do that. And if you're not satisfied with what she's doing, you can file an HR one, or you can do a recall on her. Either one, even because she's elected. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on that, Richard, but if she's not doing the duties of the job steward of representing and giving information and being forthcoming with that information, those things can happen because she's not doing her job steward duties. So I just wanted to throw that out. I just want to say get them all out, but that's just me. Sorry, I'm just going to be blunt about it. But I do have a question.
Okay.
So if the same bunk is elected that did our contract the last time, and this is my question, how can we remove them since you said that the presidents did, I can't remember exactly how you said, but you said that they bargained in good faith. That doesn't mean that the bunk individuals did. Because they could have gone back and said, no, this is what because I've always been very vocal about, especially because I'm in bargaining unit 1. And I'm not a case records analyst, but I can't tell you how many times I have seen them get passed up. And it just really breaks my heart because I've seen their counterparts in bargaining unit 6, and I work for corrections. And so people will need to know that actually bargaining unit 6, I think some of them, the last time I talked to one of our personnel specialists, they hadn't got their money either. So they had not got their money. So I know this to be true. Could have been last month. I don't know. But anyways, back to my original question on that one. Because then I feel like if that old mentality is still there, then they're not changing the way that they are actually negotiating. I know you'll be there, and I know that you will do the best that you can to help them. But if that mentality comes back and they try to override what you're saying, say, no, we know this is the, I don't want, first and foremost, that Rodriguez girl for bargaining one, I don't appreciate that she can speak for me, because she's not doing a good job for me. So that's my first question. My second question is, so on the agenda that you're going to send out, so this meeting that they had in October, can they put that on the agenda to approve it? And if they can, how are they able to do that? Because they're presidents, that they can just ask that question and have that agenda, those agenda items, whatever they during that ridiculous meeting they thought they had, because there's a lot of flaws. And thank you for putting that up on the website. Really appreciate that. I really do appreciate your transparency. I've had a lot of people that I've told at my institution I was coming back to be a job steward. They were really happy, but they were really concerned about what's going on in the union, and why at a time like this, that these presidents decide to do this instead of standing together and showing the governor that this is what we want. And a lot of the members are really upset about that. And it's not just my institution, it's other institutions. When I've sent out emails to people letting them know I'm coming back, and they're like, what's going on? So you have a lot more support out there than I thought myself, honestly. And then my final question is, by putting those financials up and everything, I want to know what we can do about the money that was spent by the former and current presidents that are trying to do this thing. And you know what? If there's any legal avenue that we can go for them spending my money, my hard-earned, $96 that I have to give people, I have to pay the union. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just complaining about the way the money was managed. How and can, legally, can we go after them for mismanaging and then trying to do what they're doing? Because the concern I have, if they try to pass this and now they have this chairman, what's to stop him from saying all of the rest of these presidents start getting a stipend? That's my concern right there. Because I start seeing things and I'm like, okay, if you're not going to be the chairman, which you can't, because you can't hold two positions. So like, hello, what's going on? So, moving forward, because it opens up the door for anyone moving forward. If if for some reason you don't get reelected, in the next, which I know you will, but if you don't get reelected, let's just, worst case scenario, they can start looking at that and saying, oh, well, the presidents now need to get stipends, not just the, elected. Now we have to have the presidents because, this, that, or whatever. So I know I have a lot of moving parts. But for those people that are out there struggling with trying to get information, and I want to go back to this from your presidents, hold them accountable. If you're on the line right now, if you're on Facebook or whatever, and you're listening to this, if you're not getting that satisfaction, then I'm going to hold you accountable for finding out that information, because it's your money. So if you're not going to complain, if you want to just complain about it and do nothing about it, then you're just as guilty as they are, because you have access to everything that I have access to that I've been getting online. And Richard, I send you stuff because I'm like, hey, I want to know this, but I want to put it out there because I want people to understand what these individuals are trying to do and what they're trying to take away versus what you're doing. And you're educating us and you're giving us all of this information. So conscientiously, I have to ask myself, what should I be doing as a member? What's my role in all of this information now that it's been, yeah, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to try my darnest to figure out what I can and can't do within the, confinements, I guess, of what the policy file states as a member and now as a job steward, because I feel like as a union member, we have a responsibility as well. We voted you in. If we didn't want you in there, then we would vote you out. But there's a lot of people that want you there. And then there are these Yvonne, and I'm just going to say it, Yvonne Walker mentality. It's like, you have kind of like in Department of Corrections, we have this old style of mentality, and that's what's giving us all the lawsuits. Well, you know what? We need to wipe out all of that, which thankfully it is. We need to do the same thing with our union. We need to wipe out that Yvonne mentality, and we need to start moving and focusing on what's important, and that's our future. A lot of people are upset and they don't want to come back, but it's like, look, then if you're not willing to listen to what's going on every week, if you're not willing to hear what I'm saying and you're not going to do your due diligence, don't complain. Then you're just as bad as they are because you're not willing to do anything. So I say, I know I got a lot of questions and you don't have to answer them tonight because I know it's already kind of that time, but those are thoughts that just in this, while we were actually, as I was listening to, these were questions that were coming up, and I'm like thinking to myself, what can we do? What should we be doing? There's a lot of people that voted for you, and all of those individuals that voted for you, just if those individuals themselves spoke up and started doing it, we could weed out so many things and focus on what's important: essential pay, teleworking, the new contract with, where we benefit and we don't succumb to the governor. We don't succumb to Cal HR saying this is what the governor wants. I don't care what the governor wants. I am not racist, but when I know that the governor is giving money to illegal immigrants before they're giving it to my kids, I have a problem with that. And it's right there in line item, right there in his budget that shows that all of this money goes just for them. They're not here legally. And I don't want to get into that because it's not what my platform is all about, but it's educating others to say, look, you guys, this is what's going on. You have a responsibility. Anyways, I'm sorry. I could be a chatty Cathy. I apologize, but that's where I'm at. Sorry.
Okay. So a lot of people don't think that I can listen. So when I let people talk and don't interrupt them, they're kind of shocked and they continue. So here, I'm going to try to run through these really quickly. Number one, the HR one, in our policy file, if you feel that someone is, quote, out of pocket, they're not behaving professionally, and they're disgracing Local 1000, you can file the HR one. It comes to me or to the Secretary of Treasury if it's against me. And if we find the charge is valid, it'll go to the hearing officer or officers. They'll make a decision. It can go in front of the board. Well, before it goes in front of the board, the person charged and the person making the charge will have the little, quote, sit down gathering, and then after that it may go in front of a board. In order to take action, 2/3 vote of the 65 members of the board. That's one way to correct someone's bad behavior in Local 1000. Second thing, DLC officers, the entire e-board, and the bunk chairs, you can recall them. If you try to recall a DLC president, it's the 20% of the membership of that particular DLC. For a bargaining chair, it's that entire bargaining unit's membership total. Now, I say that to you to be honest and transparent. As a Local 1000 president, I don't want to see no one get recalled, including myself. So, but also to not be a hypocrite, I tried to recall Yvonne Walker years ago over that June 26, 2016 salary stipend. In fact, I tried to recall her in November of 2015 when she first tried to ask for the salary stipend. I thought that was a disgrace. I'm just telling you this openly now before someone else tells you later down the road. Now, those credit card charges. Everyone has an opinion. You ask me legally. I'm not an attorney, but I know a lot of people are looking into those charges. I didn't make those gifts, but it was done in the past. We'll see what happens. Stipends. You're right. If they're able to strip me of my powers with this, quote, new, quote, chair position, yeah, he's going to come for that salary stipend because he voted for it. In fact, I believe Bill Hall, DLC 744 president, was part of the salary stipend committee in 2015, along with a few other people that I can't remember off the hand. That's what I didn't have in my hands tonight, that salary stipend committee. So anyway, yeah, he's probably coming for that money, and probably anybody, along with the DLC presidents, they all want that salary stipend money. But our current VPs, Monica Walls, David Jimenez, and Irene Green, have not taken the salary stipend because I haven't signed for it for them to take it. So it's wonderful. So we are making progress in that. Now, lots of information on the website. Make copies of everything you see. What can you do to, quote, get these people who have the, quote, farmer president's mentality out of here? You've already talked about the HR 1. Takes 2/3 vote by the board, or the recall. We don't want to destroy our union. We want to work together in our union. And even though I know these people cannot stand me and they will do anything and everything to get me up out of here, I still want to work with them because I still put my faith in God through Jesus Christ and I still believe in a greater day. But as we know in the New Testament about turning the other cheek, but before we got to that New Testament where we could all sing love and peace, that Old Testament, they were going to war and knocking people's heads off. Is this a time for war in our union or is this a time for love and peace? Stay tuned because we don't know. All right. And finally, the last thing he said, if you're not getting involved in the union, don't complain. How do you get involved in the union to make sure that Richard Lewis Brown keeps his power? Send me the impact statements. rlbrown@seiu1000.org. Send me your impact statement to my personal email, richard.brown7437@yahoo.com. Or if you're real about getting at me, Richard the Real 7437@gmail. Because some of you are fancy and you like the Gmail versus the Yahoo. All right. Thank you for that call. She laid out a lot of information. And the most important thing that she said about could the agenda they try to do on October 16th and 17th, could they bring that agenda back to this board meeting? They sure can. They can sure try. People, if you ever want to come to a board meeting, this is the one you want to come to. The 18th and the 19th. Don't come on the 19th when we meet the whole board, because the 18th is just the human rights committees and they all break out in the breakout rooms. But if you come on the 18th, you get a chance to meet me. And then you can ask me any question and I will answer your question on video that's going to be streamed. I'm going to go live the 18th and the 19th. It's going to be a fun time. All right, next caller, Melissa. Good evening.
Hi, Richard. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I wanted to actually, Kimberly took the words out of my mouth. I think that a lot of people are not educated on the duties of the DLC presidents voting on our behalf. I think a lot of people are uneducated about that. So if we can possibly put something in that email you're going to send out so that they know that the presidents, should be voting on our behalf of the DLC. Because I know a lot of people on my DLC, they're not aware of that.
So we will do that. So DLC presidents voting on the behalf. Now, a lot of people don't even know who their DLC presidents are. So that's going to be very interesting for them to even be able to vote by next weekend when they haven't even communicated. And even though I've seen some new worksite meetings, mysteriously, all of a sudden, DLC presidents are wanting to communicate. Oftentimes people tell me that they're not getting those emails. I don't know what's up with that. But voting on behalf, along with the links,
Also, I wanted to say thank you so much. I appreciate everything you're doing. I love watching, every week. It's very informative, and I think that everybody should watch it because just some of the stuff that you're saying, some of the stuff I laugh at. But it's a lot of people don't know. They don't know. They're very naive to everything that's going on. They just go with the flow. And that's been past practice. They just go with the flow and they don't really know. And I'm happy that you're doing this to show everybody how it's been and how it's changing. I was getting really turned off by the union, but now I'm so excited. I can't wait for the next contract. I'm very optimistic with you as our president.
You know what, Melissa, I want to thank you for calling in. And congratulations are in the air.
Thank you.
Very welcome. So listen, people talk about the videos and how, quote, humorous and laughable or crazy, pick your word. When you talk about the frustration that so many of us have gone through with this union, if you don't laugh about it, you'll end up smoking cigarettes and drinking and losing your mind.
Exactly.
That's the truth. That's the truth. So what I try to do is You're talking about a boring issue except your money and your family. That's not boring. So what I try to do is I try to engage people and their spouses and get you to laugh, to get you to overcome this pain and this headache that you're going through with these so-called know-it-all bosses in the workplace.
Yes.
We all have one. Now, I don't. My boss is perfect. But other people don't have perfect bosses, okay? And that's why I'm here, because I'm not going to let these people push you around. But we have to get a quality contract. And this is why they're pushing so hard to remove me out of the picture, because when I talk, people know that I'm sincere and that I'm not going to let the state push us around. And so we bargain for this next contract. We're going to get a high quality contract, or we're going to shut the state down. After bargaining in good faith, after reaching a legal impasse, after putting forth our best offer, because all of us make this state go round and round like the wheel in the sky. And it's about time that someone recognizes you.
Exactly.
So it's been going on for too long.
And I know that, like what you were talking about, the dignity clause, we have filed so many, sometimes even on the same supervisor, and what? Nothing happens. So it's like a joke. It's a joke.
And you know what some people have said? I see Dr. Nelson. Some people have said, Richard, why don't you put on the website a bad boss list for different agencies? I've been asked that several times. Put it on the website and expose these bad bosses. Get on Facebook, expose these frauds for who they are.
I would love that.
Well, I know that's not really so professional, but I've been asked to put it on the website. The bad boss list. Put their name, their agency, and their conduct. And let's see how many people complain about that same boss or bosses or that agency. Let's start running a count. Now, I know in our Compass system, we have all that information, but I think sometimes we can display things in a different fashion that's more simple, and we can count it. And so that when we go into contract negotiations, you can say, hey, we have all these instances of these so-called leaders in the state of California called management, and this is their behavior. And this is why you have to pay us that 21% pay increase, because you've been denying us our dignity for how long? Since the time you started the state of California. But I'm glad you called.
Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, Yolanda Williams. Good evening, Yolanda.
Well, I guess I'm the last one, huh? Well, I got
No.
No?
Oh, we got some callers coming behind you. You're gonna love those.
Okay. Well, that's
Stay
good.
tuned.
This way,
Yeah.
hopefully, I don't get cut off. Okay, because I got something to say right now. And anyways, first of all, I want to say I'm with this last caller. What's her name? Angela. Let's get them all out. I'm right with you, sister. Anyways, and then Mary Dela Cruz, you're right on it with the grievances. We need to speak about what the union is really doing for our members with the grievances, okay? And that goes for Kimberly Cortejo as well. She also talked about grievances. We have a problem with grievances. Obviously, there's a lot of problems with quote unquote bad bosses, okay? And I'm wondering what you're going to do as a union regarding the bad bosses instead of just saying, file a grievance. File a grievance. And when we file a grievance, we have steps. And then we go through the step, and then we are stopped at the last one, the fourth one, which is arbitration. And yes, I'm going to speak on it. Because in my situation, people who are listening, if you want to know, my number is 562-787-9142. If you want to know what I'm talking about, I'll tell you the real. Okay, this is it. An arbitration, that's step number 4. We pay our money. And we should be able to go to arbitration. It should not stop in regards to the union arbitration team who thinks it's not winnable, who says to the members, well, we don't believe, or it appears, as the language says, it appears that it won't win. But that's what you think. That's not what it actually is. Or let someone else who doesn't see anything about this case and let them decide. Don't stop my grievance because you think or it appears that you don't think you'll win. That is deceiving us and not letting the members get their full duty of their money. Point blank, period. And you guys say all this about, well, this is all about, we have to look into it and this and that. I had an appeal on December 2nd at 6:30. And I'm going to tell you, it was a listening party, all you members out there. It was a listening party. Okay, Mr. Brown, I appreciate you letting me speak. But yeah, I have to say what I got to say, because what does it say? Local 1000 listens to you, so please listen. Members, it was a listening party. And everybody either was in their car, in the kitchen, in their bed. This is an appeal. This is regarding my day at work. Every day I go to work and what I'm going through and how I have a boss who is making me do, I don't want to go into it, all this other stuff, but yet and still the union is going to stop my grievance from arbitration. It went up all the way to step 3. And you hit at 4 and tell me, no, it's not winnable. And check this out even further. They put my grievance all the way to March 22nd. And then all of a sudden, they send me a letter, the union, and say, oh, we'll go ahead and give it to you on December 2nd. Think about that for a minute. 1 minute you way out there on March 22nd to hear it. No, Mr. Brown, and then all of a sudden, December 1st, then they want to hear it. And then in 2 days later, when they told you it's going to take 2 weeks to decide about your appeal, 2 days later, they deny it and say, that's it. So now I have to stress out some more and take it another step. This is what my dues are paying for, that I got to take it another step, because the union that I pay my money to did not progress my grievance to arbitration. Also, if Betty Stewart is out there, I waited for a minute to see if Annika Walls would have given you my number, because I did let her know in a Stewart call yesterday. And I texted her as we were talking, and I said, yeah, you can give her my number as well, because Betty, I know you felt me, and I'm very hurt. And this is real, it's deep. And I appreciate your concern as somebody I don't even know, but I appreciate your concern, Ms. Stewart. So if you can give me a call, I would appreciate it. Since Annika Walls did not give you my number, 562-787-9142. Okay. And my last thing is, yes, the struggle is real with this money in regards to this essential pay, and how they took our money with the PLP and all that, because I am single and no kids, and I survive on $200 a month after I pay all my bills and my rent. So for people to say that, we shouldn't really, I don't know if they really believe that, we're not going to get this, but I really believe that if we all come together, sign the petition, get out here and do what we have to do as members, it can happen. And people like myself and others can not only be proud to be a state worker, but live comfortably, because the governor is living comfortably. That's all I got to say.
All right. So, Yolanda Williams, Number one, I deeply apologize for you not, for the Chief Stewards Committee not elevating your grievance. That's the first thing. Number two, March of 22, and what, you know, you may not realize, but the Chief Stewards Committee, some of them and some other people realized how hard I fought to ensure that your case was heard as soon as possible without jumping over someone else's case. Again, you are 1000% correct. If you pay your money, your case should go to arbitration. I've been told as the Local 1000 president that I'm wrong. I've been told that some cases are not winnable and it would set a bad precedent. But again, when you said it appears, quote, I don't think so, that's not the type of stuff a person wants to hear when they're paying you their money. You are, again, 1000% correct. How do we correct this problem?
I would like, Mr. Brown, I would like, because somebody said in the steward meeting, how will the members know what the criteria is to determine that a grievance is denied at the final stage? We as members, if we're going to appeal, we need to know, how are they coming up with their decision? What are they using as they say, we decided, we came together, we looked at this, we have stewards, chief stewards looking at your paperwork. So what are your criteria in determining and denying a member to go all the way? I want the members to get that. And then I'm not the only one, because the other lady on the steward call last night, she's the one that brought it up. So, you know, I'm with you. Give us something in writing so we know how and how you guys come up with that.
So they should be sending you something in writing, telling you the criteria they use to not want to take your case to arbitration. Again,
not just saying, well, we don't think it's winnable. No, you give us reason. You give us how you came up with that. Not just, we don't think it's winnable. That's just the same as saying, we're not going to do your grievance because, quote unquote, we have discretion. I won against that. I mean, not that per se, but you got to give reason for you saying that we're not going to take this to all the grievance. You got to give reason to your members.
Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to speak to Annika Walls and the staff about this situation. I've already talked to them extensively about taking everything to arbitration. I am not in charge of the Chief Steward Committee. I cannot force them to make a decision. I cannot overturn the decision. That's what I'm being told currently. Stay tuned.
Yeah, that's what she told me too, straight out in the first 5 minutes of the 45 minutes on the listening party. That's what she told me. After this is final. I said, oh, honey, yeah, it's final right here. But believe me, I got another step to go. Don't play with me. I ain't for play.
All right. So I know you have my number. We'll be talking soon. That's a promise, Yolanda. All right. Thank you for calling in. All right. Next caller, DLC 767 President Richard Wake.
Okay. Well, first of all, apparently you didn't get the news that I'm now the vice president and the chief steward. Ben Arriaga is the president of DLC 767 now, and he will be at the meeting. But
I'm sorry.
The
Wait,
reason,
hold on, Richard. Richard, wait a minute. You know, when you make statements that I know are false, as far as he will be at the meeting, did you reserve by November 22nd to be at this meeting?
yeah, well, yes, I did.
Oh, you did?
And anyways, yeah, it's
Because
already been approved.
I did.
So, you know,
Hold on, Richard.
don't talk over me, man.
No, I'm not talking over you, but I'm not gonna let you come on here and spread false information. So again, did you reserve by November 22nd, Richard? Richard, come on, Richard. We're not gonna do this tonight, Richard. Because if you want to take this like this, you know I don't mind. So again, I'm gonna ask you, did you reserve by November 22nd? Yes or no? Did you?
Yes.
You did. Then that's funny because I don't have record of that. So you reserved by November 22nd.
everything's already been determined that it was been done by the book. So, you know.
No, that's not what I asked you. Don't tell me about what's being done by the book. I asked
Look,
you a straight up question.
Are you gonna let me have my say here?
You know what, Richard? I may not. So you want to try
Well,
me?
then-
I may not give
So
you
look.
your time.
Look,
Listening. Go
let
ahead.
other people have their say. I'm a dues paying member.
Yes, thank you.
I get my say. I should be able to have my say. I've waited like well over an hour now. I've been patient.
All right.
Ben Arriaga
right.
is the president of DLC 767. You have no
Really?
idea why that took place. We had a vote, we had a board meeting, minutes
Okay.
were taken, and
Right.
it happened.
So when did he become the president of DLC 767? When did he become president?
Monday.
What
A
date
week
was
ago
Monday? What day was that?
I have to look at, here, let me look at my minutes here.
The 6th? So was it December 1st or
The
December
board-
6th? Which one is
The
it?
DLC 767 executive board meeting took place on November 30th at 7 PM. Here's the minutes. On a vote of 4-0, our four board members, Ben Arriaga will be serving as president because Richard Wake is back, has to step back for family issues.
For family
Richard will
issues.
now be
So you're
serving as
saying,
president.
hold on,
Richard will
Richard.
be serving as
Okay.
Look, you know, I'm not going to go over this now.
Yeah, you are. Yes, you
No,
are
well,
going to go over
no.
this now.
Well, no,
Because
look,
when you call,
you
hold
gotta
on a
let me
second.
have my say.
Hey, Richard, you called on here. So since you called on here saying that Ben
Right, no,
Arriaga
all I
is the
said was that
DLC
I'm no
president
longer
for
the
767, then you're
You're
going to take
putting
some time and
words in my
explain to
mouth.
everybody transparently what you did. Because if that happened on November 30th, and I asked you, did you reserve by November 22nd? And you said you did. So you reserved for November 22nd to come to the board meeting, but now on November 30th, you're saying you don't want to come because now Ben Arriaga is the president. Is that what you're saying? Yes or no?
Well,
Yes
he
or
is
no?
the president. He has
No,
the
no,
right
no.
to vote.
That's not what I asked you. You called on here, so now I'm asking you direct questions as a local 1000 president that supersedes you as a DLC president. Did you, on November 30th, on that board meeting, 4-0, did he become the DLC 767 president? Yes or no?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay, you know what? Then you don't have to because this is a free country and I'm not going to mandate you to answer questions you don't want to ask because I'm not going to mandate you to wear a mask. Oh, wait, inside the building, but I'm not going to mandate you to be vaccinated if you don't want to be vaccinated. Next question, sir.
Are you going to let me have my say?
Well, I don't know. Am I?
Okay,
You
well,
called
here
on
we
here.
go.
You
Well, why
listen.
don't you
Don't
let
try
me
to hold
speak?
on, Richard.
No.
You called.
Hey,
Hold
look,
on, Richard.
I'm not
You
afraid
called
of
on
you,
here.
man.
No.
You're a bully,
This is what
you're
you
an
wanted. This is what
intimidator,
you
and you're a
wanted,
liar,
Richard.
okay?
Richard. This is what
No.
you wanted. So this is what you're going to get. You are one of these people who are trying to run me out of office. So when all the people call on her saying, "Why are the presidents so mean to you? Why are they trying to run you out of office?" Well, here's one right here. DLC President 767 Richard Wake. That's
I'm
who
not
you
the
are.
president.
You're
Ben
trying to run me out of
Arriaga.
office. You went to the insurrectionist meeting. Did you go in person, Richard? Or did you have Ben Arriaga go in person for you at the insurrectionist meeting? Since you want to talk so much. Keep
Ben
talking,
Arriaga's the
Richard.
president.
You better hang up the phone and move on, or I'm gonna hang up on you and move on to somebody else.
you
You don't
gonna
want
let
this
me have
action
my
from me
say?
tonight, Richard. No, you don't, Richard. No, you don't, Richard.
You're a chicken and a coward.
Oh, so I'm a chicken and a coward. So now you're calling the local 1000 president in front of the whole world a chicken and a coward. Here's my address, 3225 43rd Street. If you want to come down and talk to me in person and tell me to my face that I'm a chicken and a coward because you can't even come to the board meeting in person because
Well, why don't you
you're
let me have my
possibly,
say so I can explain
I
it?
think,
You're
maybe
putting
it
words in my
appears
mouth.
that you're the chicken and a coward. I don't know, Richard. So if you want to be so strong and call me a chicken and a coward, then do me a favor, take your presidency back if you really want it. Come down, be a man or a woman or anything you choose to be, and meet me in person at this board meeting on December 18th and 19th. But you don't
Well,
want
you
this
know-
action from me because you
Right, you
know
know-
the truth of God is not in you.
Right,
That's
you know
who you
what?
are, Richard.
You know what, I
Richard.
would do that.
Yeah,
I would
whatever.
do that except,
No,
when
you
it
ain't
came
gonna
to
do
the-
anything
when it
except
came
run
to
your
the-
mouth on Facebook talking about somebody's a chicken and a coward. You ain't
Are
gonna
you
do
gonna
a
let me have my
doggone
say or
thing.
not?
Here I am at 1808 14th Street. I come to work every day. I don't telework, but I bet you do because I put the people first. Represented
are you gonna-
employees. I don't telework. I come to work, COVID or no COVID. That's the military in me, but you wouldn't know that. Have a nice day. Next caller. Thank you.
Chicken.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. All right. Oh, we got another one. We got another one. Michael Gus. Come on, Michael.
Hi, Mr.
Come on,
President.
Michael.
How are you? Okay, you let the people who say you're the greatest thing since sliced bread talk for 10 minutes. You know, I don't agree with you, but in the spirit of democracy, please let me take the time I need. It won't be a full 10 minutes. Number one, essential worker premium pay. I went and read the federal rule that the Department of Treasury put out. They pay $13 an hour to people who meet their definition of essential worker, up to a cap of 25,000. This is their definition of essential worker. One, essential worker means, and hang on, let me read it. One, essential work means one is not performed while teleworking from a residence. Two, involves regular in-person interaction with patients, the public, or coworkers of the individual who is performing work. Three, regular physical handling of items that were handled by or are to be handled by patients, the public, or coworkers of the individual who is performing the work. So I'm full-time assigned to an office. I qualify. Anybody who's full-time assigned to an office qualifies. And you talked a lot about the PLP. And you talked a lot about the OPEB. I agree with you on the OPEB. But your petition and what you're doing doesn't matter what the governor wants to do or what you want to do. The Secretary of the Treasury, Janet Yellen, made that decision. That's the definition of essential work for those funds that we want to use to pay. Okay, that's going to cost me $25,000, right? That's going to cost anyone who qualifies for that and works in person and is posted in person $25,000, because you're making the perfect the enemy of the good. Now, if you're smart, you could negotiate full-time telework for the people who love telework and essential worker premium pay for the people who can't or won't telework. And that way everybody gets something still. It's a win-win for everybody. And we don't leave some of the other locals in SEIU that represent government workers have premium pay to those workers who meet the definition of essential under the Treasury Department. It's a bad negotiation tactic, and I'm disappointed. Number two, I think we need to really understand, and I want to speak up and defend DLC 794 President Francina Stevenson.
Okay.
I'm a member of DLC 794. I'm not on the board. I receive all the emails of the agendas for, you know, the DLC board meetings. I get all of that. I know when they happen. I don't go to them, but I know. So, you know, she and the people on the board of our local DLC represent us well, in my opinion. I know she's done her steward job to one of my colleagues very well, and he's very satisfied. So I think she's done a great job. Number three, and this is the last thing. There was some mention of HR1s. Now, I'm aware that there's been some HR1s filed against statewide officers, but that they have not had a hearing. And so my question to you, and you know, I'll end this with a question. My question to you is, why have those HR1s that have been filed, and how many of them are there? Because I've heard different numbers. I don't know which one are true. How would I know? I'm just a dues paying member. But I know at least some have been filed. How many are there? And why haven't there been a hearing on any of them? Because I understand there hasn't been a hearing on any of them. And if you're saying, yeah, we really need to hold the DLC presidents accountable with HR1 processes and have hearings about them, but then there's complaints filed against HR1 complaints filed against statewide officers and the hearings aren't happening, boy, that doesn't seem like it's treating people equally to me. And, you know, I think unions really need to be about treating people equally. So appreciate your time. Thank you. Have a good day.
Hey, Michael? Michael? Is he still there? So I wish he hadn't hung up. You know, when I get real quiet on you and I let you talk and I don't interrupt you, I don't ask a question, you know that means I got you, right? So when you're trying to measure on how to go up against me, when I let you talk, I know exactly what I'm doing. You're better off letting me interrupt you. When I get quiet and get real professional, and real dignified, I'm getting ready to give it to you. That's why I'm real calm right now. I'm laughing, chuckling. Let's go back to what he said about the HR 1s against statewide officers. Let's cut the BS. He's talking about the HR 1s filed against me. I don't know how many. I don't have that number memorized. You think I would? I think there were some HR 1s filed against me. And when they're filed against the local 1000 president, it goes to the vice president, secretary, treasurer. He or she will make a determination if those charges hold any merit. I'm still sitting here. It didn't get to the hearing officers. They didn't have to make a determination. And therefore, it never had a hearing, and therefore, after that hearing, it never made it to the board. So he talked about, I said about HR 1s. Now, this is how people are. You don't ever hear me talk about recalls or HR 1s. Someone called asking information. I believe that was Angela. And I ran it down real quick and easy. And I said, we don't want to do that. But that's not what he wanted to hear. See, he hears things the way he needs to hear it. He sees things the way he needs to see it. But all you got to do is review this video. I just gave the information. I don't want to see no one HR 1. And I told you, if you start doing HR 1s, I'm the #1 suspect. You do a recall, I'm the #1 suspect. Because I'm not going to point the finger, because I know that finger is going to point right back at me. But he's real subtle. But this time he didn't come and really attack me. He was real cool with it. You know why he was real cool and real calm? Because he saw how I just dismissed DLC 76 President Richard Wake. And you see how I handled him. So Michael was real cool. Nice strategy, Michael. Nice strategy. But you're not good enough. So then you defend DLC President 794 Francina Stevenson, who wants to strip me of my powers, who went to the insurrectionist meeting. But you, in this free country, have the ability to defend who you want to defend. I respect that, Michael. I respect you. Other people have other opinions about her. That's what makes America so good. You can walk around with the biggest opinion on earth. But let's get to something else he said about the essential worker premium pay petition. See, hello? Remember when we did that? Yeah, he ain't looking up. Remember when we did that essential worker premium pay? And remember, I told you something, I threw a fit. I was, oh, wow. He's like, wow, he got wild out about it. I said, no, I know what I'm talking about. So let's read that petition, since Michael wants to be smart, because he talked about the federal rules, and he's right. Even though him and I agree on the OPEB. Now, that's a shocker. But thank you, Michael Gus. But let's go to that essential worker premium pay petition for a minute. Here, I'm going to put this up on the website, because we have a transparent website. It's very beautiful. It's very nice. Very nicer than mine. So here it is. See, when you talk about, in our policy file, it talks about petitions. When you petition somebody, like when you would have a special board meeting. When they tried to recall this current governor, they did a petition, and it clearly says petition on it. That's what a petition is. It clearly says petition. You don't have to guess. On the petition, they give you the information. So here is ours. Sign the essential worker premium pay petition. Now listen to this. Essential worker premium pay petition. Petition summary and background. Represented employees of Local 1000. We didn't try to discriminate. dues paying members versus non-members. We didn't say, well, the CCRAs, they need it more than everybody else. Maybe, but we treat everybody with love and respect. So we say represented employees of Local 1000 and state workers, because we're not selfish. We're the largest public sector union in the state, so we lead by example. Maybe not always, but most of the time. Okay. Represented employees of Local 1000 and state workers who are seeking essential worker premium pay from Governor Newsom for working during the emergency order in California amid the pandemic. Action petition for. On the petition, he said what you're trying to do. Action petition for. We, the undersigned represented employees of Local 1000 and allied state workers, because we're all in this together, formally, with respect, formally ask Governor Newsom to act now, not down the road, but act now to provide essential worker premium pay from the, wait for it, $76 billion in state surplus funds. $76 billion in state surplus funds. Where do you see federal in that? So maybe if you read, you'd understand that. And I'm not trying to knock Michael Gus, because he came with sincerity in his heart, and I respect that. But Michael, don't you think I'm not sitting back waiting for people like you? Or do you think I just walked up in here just because? Remember, I've told you, I won an election with not one vote from that board. God had to be with me. Because all the smart people, you have your strategy, you have your political alliances. How could I win? Anyway, that's that. That's his answer. He thought he had me, but he doesn't. Next caller, Dr. Eric Nelson. Good evening, Dr. Eric.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for giving me a minute.
You're very welcome.
So I guess DLC 794 is going to get some more attention. About a week or 10, well, only back a couple months ago, after I become a steward, I requested to be made the Unit 21 DBER because the position's been open for a long time. And initially, it looked like I was going to get appointed for that. But then I began to be known as someone who really supports the workers first. And so then I wasn't appointed. I was given a chance about a week or 10 days ago to meet with the board of DLC 794. Now, there's 8 positions on the board, but there's only 3 board members. There's the president, the chief steward, and also Irene's husband, Vincent. And that's it. Now, there were some other people there. There was someone who's not a board member, and there was also 2 representatives from the MRC. And so I was essentially asked, why should I get to be a DBER? And I gave my reasoning. And then one of the individuals asked me, where's my loyalty at? And I said, well, my first loyalty is to the workers, and that will be ahead of the DLC. And after that, then I will also give some loyalty to the DLC. And I was told flat out, I'm not going to say who, but I was told flat out, we're looking for the first loyalty to be the DLC. So needless to say, if you're going to put money and gamble, go ahead and bet on the fact that I haven't heard anything and I wasn't appointed. Now, I'm in a small bargaining unit. I think I might even be the only steward in bargaining unit 21. I'm not sure, because I haven't been introduced to the DLC. I've asked for a roster, but one wasn't provided. So I really don't know anything about the DLC, but I tried. And the reason I'm coming before you tonight is I just want to know if you have the authority to appoint me to be the DBER for my bargaining unit. And I don't mean that you have to give me an answer now, but I did just want to ask you because time is short. And I feel that someone from my bargaining unit, especially a steward, is the best person to be there and represent our interests.
So, Dr. Eric Nelson and DLC 794, you're in bargaining unit 21. I'm appalled that our DLC 794 president, Francina Stevenson, only has 3 of her 8 positions filled. I don't see why you should not be able. A man with a doctor's degree, highly professional, served the country. Why you could not be a DBER. And so by the policy file, I can't appoint you a DBER. However, the VP of Organizing and Representation, Annika Walls, I'm sure she would love to appoint you. In fact, I thought I sent her a message this morning about this matter. However, I'll do it again tomorrow morning. You should have been appointed today because the SBAC is this weekend, December 11th and 12th, from 10 to the time it stops. There's two different the different bargaining units on different days on the 11th and 12th. I think 21. I think that's on the first day on Saturday, but I can't remember. So I will contact you. Say again.
I will be there.
Okay, so I
definitely.
will contact Annika again because if you have asked and Francina Stevenson has not made good faith in ensuring that all of her DBERs are appointed, then that's a lack of representation. And we know that every DBER position for all 51 DLCs must be filled so that the members' voices are heard when they're voting to elect that bunk team. And so I guarantee you, you will be contacted tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. One last thing, if I could, real quick. Just
Yes.
Mr. Michael Gus, since he is able to get minutes for the board meeting for DLC 794, and since I, as a steward, can't get them, I wonder if I could just say my email address, and maybe when he gets the minutes and the agendas and all, maybe he could send them to me, because I would really like to know what's going on in my DLC. My email address is phd@fastmail.com, as in Paul Henry David, phd@fast, F-A-S-T, mail.com. I would be grateful if Mr. Michael Goss could forward me stuff from my DLC. I'd be grateful. Thank you, sir. Thanks for a minute.
Oh, well, thank you very much, sir. All right. So next caller, DLC 752, President Christina Yvette. And I'm going to say her last name wrong. Christina.
You got it almost right. It's Evett, not Evett, but you were close.
Evett, thank you.
You didn't put an R or an S or any extra letters in it. So
All right.
and I'm 751.
Did I say 752?
Yeah, but that's okay. You're close too.
We just talked about this yesterday. I'm so sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
okay.
Okay.
What was one thing? Would you please, when we're discussing the board and getting all the presidents out, not all the presidents need to go. I don't know, people have their opinion of which presidents, but if we keep repeating on these calls, get all the presidents out. We have new presidents on here that have nothing to do with the past as far as anything that's irritated people. And when you get on here and say, get all the presidents, not you, let me rephrase that. When callers are saying, get all the presidents out, do HR ones against everybody, that's not sounding good for the ones that haven't even had a chance to
1000% agreed. 1000% agreed.
So I'd like to request that we please try to refrain from saying get them all out.
So
work on or say, hey, we got some that are still working.
So
secondly, just on a side note, on a different note, if I can get Mary Dela Cruz to please call the resource center, or if somebody can give her my phone number. I have a couple of she made a comment last night about some staffing ratios, and I would like to get information from her for my facility. And if she can give me a call, I'd really appreciate it.
I'm gonna do it right now for you.
Thank you. I don't want to put my number out for the world, but
No. I got you. So I'm looking for your number on my phone here, and I want to go back to what you said. When the person called about those HR ones and recalls, y'all heard me say this. We don't want to do that. I said, we don't want to recall people. I said, if you're going to do an HR one or a recall, I'm the #1 suspect. We don't want to destroy our union. However, in this country, people are going to say a lot of different things. So for me to tell people what to say and how to think, look, I'm begging people to join the union. That's my #1 thing. So I know some people want to get rid of some of the board, not the entire board. There's some high quality people, starting with you, because you have the highest membership rate. Oh, yes, you do. And so I understand that. You know, but I did not tell people to do HR1s or recall people, you know, recall the board or whatever. Remember, some of the board is trying to get me up out of here.
Okay, let me
So,
rephrase that.
okay,
I don't mean that I'm not directing it at you. I'm
okay,
directing it at people on the call.
right,
Please don't say to get rid of the entire board. You know, if you have an opinion about your president or something, then you talk about it. But when you say get rid of the whole board about all this garbage that happened in the past, and we talked, like you said, you talked to me last night,
right,
and there was a lot of garbage in the past. I agree.
right,
I'm trying to move us forward too.
okay.
But um, I'm just saying that for everybody else, please consider that there's a lot of new presidents or a lot of repeat presidents that have been working to try and improve the union. That's what I meant. I wasn't saying at you directly.
Oh, well, thank you. And, you know, Christina, when people hear these calls, sometimes people hear what they want to hear. And, you know, we want to have unity in the union, but the reality is people know in their heart that a select number on the board will never work with me. And that's why people are so sad and just frustrated. You have to deal with a boss that possibly may be abusive, possibly may not be treating you right correctly. And then when you go to your union to file your grievance, as Yolanda Williams has so strongly stated, and then your union lets you down. So people are very emotional, which remember, we're Americans.
Oh,
In this country right now, we're all in an emotional state on different issues in this country.
on a side note,
Oh, yes.
13 to 18 grievances is what it takes to get rid of a bad boss.
Oh, jeez. 13 to 18?
13 to 18 grievances. We've had to do on one boss it took 18 grievances. On another boss it was 12 or 14 grievances.
Right.
And the biggest one was 18 grievances, and we sat and did 18 grievances in one night and submitted them all a few years ago because of one bad boss. But I have a question. Instead of doing a bad boss, how about doing a good boss roster? Recognize the good employers, recognize the good supervisors. I've had three of the worst supervisors. I've been in state 31 years. I've had some of the worst supervisors, and I've had a couple of good ones. I have a good one now. The one I have now, she recognizes all levels of employees for doing good stuff. She's fair, she's equal, she's trying really hard. She's been an assistant, now she is the director, and she's making changes. The employees are really liking it. The ones that are tired of the status quo, the ones that, just like here, and I told her, I said, this is just like union meetings. You have the ones that like the changes, and you have ones that don't like the changes. But I was thinking, if you recognize the good bosses throughout the different departments, that might be something to do. And you don't get slandered because somebody doesn't think that somebody else, their boss, is a bad boss when you post them up as a bad boss. Anyway, that's it. Oh, did you check with your staff about my reservation? You can text me later and tell me. I'm just putting that reminder in your ear.
Yes, I did. They just looked at me and said yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for calling in. All right.
Have a good evening.
Oh, you too. All right. Ronald Rawson. Ron.
Am I muted? Am I muted?
Yes, you are.
No, it has shown me it's muted. I just wanted to say that I am glad you're our president and you are doing a phenomenal job. That is a word that we heard nauseatingly so for the last, I don't know how many years. We started all these calls with about 20 people saying, oh, you're so phenomenal. You're so phenomenal. Even when we were getting beat out of our 2 furlough days, or however they want to name them, PLPs, but same thing, furloughs. All those days and all the money taken, and the only bringing us 7.something% across the board in bargaining, $1 million issue that wouldn't even guarantee they'd look out for us in any way. They were still deemed phenomenal. So just wanted to let you know that you are doing a phenomenal job, sir. And on top of that, I just really wanted to say to, I think it was Yolanda, I don't know her name, the previous caller, but she was speaking spot on about the Chief Stewards Committee and the arbitration process. And I want to say she spoke so eloquently about it. You know how I feel about that
Yes.
already. As a dues paying member, 6, I think we can all put it in the bottom of it really well. Because Article 6, it has no teeth in it for the union. I don't know who bargained that. You were showing the roster earlier of who signed what and how, and I'm glad you're really bringing to the members the transparency as to what the bunk and the board of directors has allowed, the bargaining team rather has allowed to be negotiated on our behalf. Article 6 has no teeth in it for the union. You give your first level grievance to the department, and then the second level to the LRO or whomever, the third level to Kelly HR, and you know you're going to be screwed by your own union constituents. And, no merit here. So then your own union lets you down. So it's a road. Now I have people saying, never mind. When they say we can file a grievance, never mind. We already know how that's going to end up. There's nothing that guarantee our dues paying members a zealous representation. And I'm glad she's shining light on that. I thought with Vice President Walz coming into office that we could look to revamp this Chief Stewards Committee, but I've sat in front of them and it was a joke. And even after Kelly Char admitted to losing my grievance, the union didn't even hold them accountable to say, oh, you lost his grievance, give him his ask. But no, the union didn't hold them accountable at all. It's laughable. So I just want to say to Yolanda, if I'm saying her name wrong, I think that's who was her name. I'm not sure.
That's
but
correct.
She spoke eloquently about. Thank you for the transparency in the slides before the top of the meeting. I was there through all of that. I was there in 2016, put a tennis shoe on my desk when they told us we could walk. And we thought we were going to walk the next day and all of that stuff, and got a call from everybody to walk us off. And it was all hocus pocus. It was all just a farce. And I'm glad you're bringing real teeth back to this union, real ethics and real morals and real power back to the people. I've been on this call, this union call, Richard, for years. And we would be in queue. Mary Dela Cruz will tell you, we would be in queue, and 2 people up when I've waited an hour to be in queue, they just drop your call. Then if you wasn't a minion, if you wasn't somebody who was going to say phenomenal and all of that, which I was and never have been, then they would just drop your call. And so we never got to speak for all these years. We've been disenfranchised. And I'd say to the board, those that are trying to unseat you or whatever, I want to look at their track record as to how many people they've represented, how many of our dues paying members have they filed a grievance for, have they set into meeting confers, because I'm into meeting confers every week. I've never had union leave. I didn't have to hold, as a DLC president, I never used union leave in 3 years that I was a DLC president. I just did the work and let the work speak for itself. People in my auspices know that I represent the people, power to the people. So keep up the great work. These people who are just whining for their pacifier and union leave or whatever, union leave needs to be something that's earned. And I believe some of the DLC presidents do the work. I'm not saying all, like the last caller, not all. Some of the bunk, they do the work. But those that don't do anything but hold the position and want to lord over this union, like there's some big wig, they have got to do it. Good night.
Okay. So thank you for calling in, Ron. Listen, I really want to thank you for those nice words and for supporting Yolanda Williams and her feelings about cases should go to arbitration. You know, people pay their money to Local 1000. Those cases should go to arbitration. You know, I want to acknowledge Ron Rawson. This SBAC this weekend, I wasn't for sure if we could allow people to watch those elections in those breakout rooms, but I knew in my heart that that was the right thing to do. And I'm so glad that Ron Rawson, along with some other people, insisted. They said, Richard, you have to be transparent and let people see what's going on. And he was 1000% correct. So thank you for that, Ron Rawson, and thank you for all the work you're doing with the heavens. Now, we're going to shut this down, but I'm going to do something, and then we're going to end it. We're going to let Michael Gus come on one last time, and we're going to see what Michael has to say in response to what I said. And then we're going to shut this down. This has been a long night tonight, but I knew it would be. And, you know, I didn't know how tonight was going to go. I think it went pretty well. Me and Richard, you know, we have a interesting relationship, me and Richard Wade. But, you know, I've told people I'm not afraid of no one. If you come talking that talk, you better bring some friends with you, because I don't think you got the mouthpiece on you to deal with my mouth. And I mean that. And Richard, you heard him call me a chicken and a coward. Now, you know, if I would have called a DLC president a chicken or a coward, they'd have filed so many HR1s on me. A chicken, coward, a hippopotamus, whatever. But they can call me any word that they want. And they say that you have to take it because you're the president of the union. So we can dog you and destroy your dignity. And you know where they got that from? Here, I'm going to show you. See, you wonder where that behavior comes from. It comes from our contract. It comes from the dignity clause in the contract. They don't respect themselves. They let the state treat us any way they want, and then they turn around and treat you the same way. All right, so Michael Gus, come on, take us out. Take us home, Michael. Take us home.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. It's been a long night. I'll keep it brief. Just wanted to correct one thing that you said.
Sure.
You said the 76 million was state money.
Right.
I read the summary of the governor's budget. I also read the Capital Radio report on it. And of the surplus, 28 million was from the ARPA funds, which have the restrictions that I state. I don't know, but I think that we could probably get at least some pay for people who meet that definition. And again, I'm just gonna say, I work in the office 5 days a week, every day. There are people on my floor who work in the office 5 days a week, every day, at least 4 of us. There's some departments, DMV, others that have to work, you know, they do in-person work. We're all taking more risks than people who are teleworking. And the reason Congress and the Secretary of the Treasury, Janet Yellen, put those restrictions in is because they want to target that money, because, you know, we can think, oh, 27 billion, that's a lot of money. There's 100,000 employees, and that's going to go pretty quick.
Yes.
And so they want to make sure that the people who are taking the most risks are compensated for that.
Right.
And someone who's taken more risks than someone who teleworks,
right,
I would really like, I think it'd be great. I would be on here saying you're the greatest union president ever if we could get that ARPA, essential worker premium pay for people who work in person. But unfortunately, we can't if we try to get it to people who telework, because the statute Congress passed and the law that Janet Yellen, or the rule that Janet Yellen passed, clearly says, number one is not telework conducted from a residence. And so, just wanted to correct that, because yeah, there is a surplus, but a lot of that surplus was generated from federal money, not all of it, but a lot of
Right.
it.
What was that number
thank
for the federal money? You said 23 billion?
27 billion. It was 27.9 billion, so rounded up to 28.
So check this out, Michael. I know I separated those two funds out. Now maybe I made a mistake, but I know I had that 76 billion state separated from that 27 billion.
But the 76 billion included the federal money. You can go look it up at Cap Radio. It includes the federal money.
Okay.
The budget includes the federal money. So it had the federal money and the state money in it, and the total surplus was 76 billion. If you take the 28 billion out of it, then the total surplus is 48 billion. And I also want to just say one last thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to say one last thing, and then I'll let you close.
Okay.
The other last thing is I've heard endlessly about, we lost 2 days of pay, how awful that is. Well, we got 16 hours of leave every month for the 2 days we lost of pay. Now, if you took all your PLP leave and you didn't use it, I didn't use any of my PLP leave while we were having it. I've used most of it since then. So they're paying me at the full rate because we got all of that back on July 1st.
That's correct.
And so, okay, we loaned the state money, I'll give you that, but I don't think we really lost anyone. So that's just my opinion. And I appreciate you letting me have
Hold on. Wait. Don't hang up for a second. Don't hang up. Because you and I have debated and argued for months, but tonight, for some reason, you and I are talking. Listen to this. I thought for sure I had that 76 billion separated from that 27 billion, but I may have made a mistake. All right. But even at 48 billion, when you're supposed to be a labor-friendly governor that used the support of Local 1000 in 2018 to get elected, you think you would have the audacity or the courage of your conviction that you made a mistake taking our money, saying that we were in a bad financial crisis. And when you had that money in January, and for sure by May, you could have sent that money back. But you did not do that. So whether it was the 27 billion federal, or whether it was just that, you said 48, I believe, you did not give the respect.
No, it's federal.
Right, but I'm saying you still had close to 50 billion state. So
well, no, because remember, we've passed initiatives in California that require a certain percentage of budget surpluses to be put into the rainy day fund.
Oh,
and there's nothing the governor can do about that. So,
no,
so
you're
it's
right.
a lot less than you're saying.
Well, wait a minute. Well, listen to this. You're right about the rainy day fund, and then you didn't even mention about there's a certain amount of money earmarked for schools, and I know you know that part too. So you're tracking that money. So you're tracking that money right with me. Okay, so fair. But check this out. So we're tracking this money. We're tracking the money that they're acknowledging that they have, because every time we turn around, we found they got 2 or 3 billion hidden in some account. So that came back in the past too. But fair enough. But I want to go back to something more important, because we can discuss this money and we can look at the numbers all day. When you say those who put their lives on the line by continuing to go to work, whether they're behind the prison walls, whether they're custodians, or any of these agencies where people continue to go to work and put their lives on the line, they should be quote entitled or get the essential worker premium pay. And those who work from home should not. You realize, Michael, when I quote argue and debate people on these videos, those people from EDD who work from home and process those unemployment claims, there's certain people. Hear me out though. Hear me out though. Hear me out on this. Those people in EDD and anyone else that I have failed to acknowledge who work from home that kept this 4th largest economy on earth going during this pandemic, whether you work from home or went in, you got to treat people with equal respect. Because if I give you the utmost respect and pay you the essential worker pay, and then say the heck to those who work from home, then I'm dividing the union. Well, we're already divided by 730 some different job classifications, 10 different bargaining units, and I got people who are saying they've been disrespected since 1998, and then they have the email from 2006, 7, or 8, 2008. So I got people coming at me every day, Michael, saying, Richard, I want my money, and I can't get the money from them fast enough. So we're already divided. So if you say only those who went to work should be eligible for that money because the federal government, well, hold on a second, Michael. Last time I checked, the state legislature and the federal legislature, those politicians and their staffs, they don't have to be vaccinated.
That's wrong.
Well,
The state legislature has a vaccine mandate. Number, and then I'll finish because this has gone on way long, way too long.
Okay, then I'll shut down.
But let me just state something.
Sure.
I think if you ask most people who tow, their number one priority would not be the $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,500 or however much it can be. If everybody gets something, their number one priority is a permanent telework agreement. Okay, I think most people who prefer telework want that permanent telework agreement, and they'd be willing to give up in a negotiation a little bit of that. I think people, and also say this, I saw that I work every day, and I saw this thing that was going out about the stipend, where the people who are working from home that you're negotiating, we're going to get twice as much as I work going to the office on a stipend when I have to pay parking to the state.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So why haven't we negotiated elimination of parking fees? All the lots are empty downtown anyway. I don't know about down south, but in Sacramento, all the lots are empty. Why haven't we got free parking? I wouldn't even care if you didn't even give me $25. If you gave me free parking, that would save me way more. And so, see, you don't necessarily have to do what you're saying, because people who telework may want one thing, people who work in the office may want another, and there may be a way to get everybody what they need. But that's not happening as long as we're focused on this internal strife.
So, Michael, it's funny that you say that, because when people talk to me, here's what happens when people talk to me for too long. I'll catch you. Now, listen to this. You said that for the essential worker premium pay, that if you went to work, you should get the money, but if you stay from home, you shouldn't. But now you've turned around and said, for those who are able to work from home, they shouldn't get the same amount of money for those who go in. We're both talking about equality. And so what you've heard is not true. We're fighting to get everyone the same amount of money, whether you work from home or whether you go in, because we know that some people get discriminated against and some people get forced to go to work where other people get the option to work from home, which is kind of interesting about the essential worker premium pay, because some people may have wanted to work or go to work and was told you can't come to work. So it's funny that you say that, but you know what? It's 9:22, and for some reason, you and I tonight have had a very intellectual, calm, collective conversation, and that's something to build on. Love you. Hey everyone, I'm Richard Lewis Brown. Today was December 8th, 2021. It went long tonight, but you know what? When you have the passion to serve, it's not long. It's enjoyable. Have a great night. Bye-bye.